Yes, we are live tonight in the Situation Room. We do not have our entrance due to technical difficulties, if I can ever get that word out right. So bear with us. I don't even know if we have Freddie available tonight. And I forgot to mute myself, so now I have an echo. Love it. There we go. Right back into the show. Tonight, looks like we're going to have a small group. It's fine with me. Because we've got Warpath going on. Got a lot going on, of course, with Warpath. Everybody hitting, going crazy. Haven't seen any friendly fire yet. Love that word, yet. But, you know, that changes fast. Warpath just started. But let's jump into all the fun stuff. We're going to introduce the panel first. We're going to introduce Destry. Don't play with any goats, Destry, during the show, please. Chad, a.k.a. Sarah of Pigtails. And, gentlemen, you can unmute whenever the hell you want.
Thanks. I was waiting for that.
Yeah. I know, you're going to have directions all the time. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Sarah, but that's okay. Excuse me. Late night pizza's not settling too well.
She's got her pigtails tied in a knot.
We also have the fabulous Skipjack. But right now she's handling some stuff as usual, working all the time, handling everything all the time. So please bear with her, where she'll pop in when she can. Tonight, we're going to keep this a little, how do we say that? We're going to try staying upbeat as much as we can. Because there is some positives coming out of this game. One of them is that, Kickside didn't totally foobar Warpath. They foobarred it at first and said instead of trying to patch it and make everybody suffer, they said, hey, let's stop it and let's take it. Let's see if we can fix it before we send it back out. Now, to me, that was the best move they could have done. Because we all know what some of their patch jobs in the past have been. Actually, what would you call their patch jobs in the past when they take the game up and down 10 times?
You want the truth?
The truth.
Call it bullshit.
Thank you. So, instead of doing the bullshit, they said, no more path, let's fix it. They fixed it, they put it in action, and it seems to be working pretty good. I mean, I'm having a little fun with it. I'm definitely able to hit more, but then again, I'm still not as high as I once was. So
that's my same complaint. I didn't have what I had last night, but at least they fixed it, so I can't really complain too much.
Oh, they could have really totally screwed us all and just said, hey, we're gonna hot patch it, and then occasionally when you jump, you lose your infamy, or excuse me, honor, or your PvP tunes wouldn't heal right, or God knows. You get 6 or 7 ghost bases.
Yeah.
That just make your honor go crazy now, wouldn't it? I'm losing honor. Where the hell am I losing it? On sector 27. I'm not in 27. I mean, the truth is, it could have went completely haywire. They didn't do it. I'm good with that. I truly am.
You got to give them hats off for it. I mean, they did a good job on closing it out, shutting it down, getting it fixed, and then
they made it up to people. They said, hey, it is on us. They did screw up. We did screw the pooch. Let's fix their platoons. Let's give them gold to compensate, for the foobar. They didn't just say, hey, we're taking it down. Whoever hit something, you hit something. They didn't do that. So at least they're trying to make it right. Don't get me wrong.
No boning.
They didn't bone us.
Nope.
And yeah, you know what? I looked in the forums, and I saw a lot of people still complaining. Oh, they did this, they did that, but you know what? They made it right the best they could. So I mean, compared to normal Kickside, what we're all used to, they did something. I would say it's pretty damn good. Now, I'm very excited about this Warpath, and I know Chuckles Chad, I know Chuckles is out there already running around. I know a couple of.
Chuckle, my mean is on their tear first.
Oh well, your main. Yeah, you have more fun during Warpath with your lower than you do your main now.
Yeah, true, but it gets pretty boring when you're already up in the top tier real quick.
Well, with the new number, they redid the numbers.
And I didn't notice any difference, so.
Well, it's still early yet. You're not in the top tiers, and I guess from what I understand, that's when you're going to feel it. But then again, it's early yet. Like we keep saying, I mean, we should be 24 hours into it. We're only what 4, 5 hours, 6 hours into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's early. We're still adjusting, which is I'm excited about this adjustments. The only thing I'm not excited about when it comes to Warpath is the 4-hour bubble. I think your bubble should last as long as the base platoon that's put in it.
Yeah, but that varies.
Well, that's fine. That's how they should set it. You lock your base platoon if it gets killed.
I think you're asking way too much, and that's way too. I'm going to say that's way too intricate of a system to implement.
I know, but I said I would like it. My saying
you're asking a lot for
like it.
Hey, Roy's at a high that they did something correctly. Now he's trying to push it.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. We ask for the world and we get a little bit, and they actually gave us the world, and I still want more. I should shut the hell up, right? All right, so let's continue on with Warpath. Upper levels will have to work a little harder, but not supposedly not as hard as last time, because like I said, they redid the format of the numbers, which is good because I personally think it really needs to be adjusted. Because the last time I couldn't hit anything lower than a 43 to get anything. I mean, when I said anything, I couldn't even get a 1 from a 42.
People are sitting on this 47.
I believe they're still sitting on that 50 as well.
I don't know where that is, so.
Oh, I ain't telling you that.
Oh, come on. I shared all my bookmarks with you guys.
Yeah, and I haven't even still put them out there, but let's keep continuing. I can repeat all of this, and we can repeat some of them. 4-hour bubble, of course, a base platoon will heal 50% faster. They did. Now, I'm not going to touch on that. I'm going to wait a little bit because I know that's going to become a hot subject. Let's see, what else did they do? They changed. What else did they do in Warpath? The protective bubble. If you hit somebody, you can only hit them once. And I already got boned on that. Got DC'd time I got back in. It was already over, and I didn't even get the bubble. Kind of disappointed on that one because it was a nice fat one, nice 44.
Kind of like a bad sexual episode,
Oh, you just get your motor started and you can't even put it in?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I ain't gonna lie.
I've only hit 7 people so far, and I've been fortunate not to get disconnected.
I would say I have not had many disconnects since the restart.
No, most of my problem has been trying to get into game and get disconnected before I'm even in.
It does seem to lag going into your base, getting into the game. The lag is a little more, but I'm sure it's because everybody's on smashing each other. Everybody was very excited about Warpath. So be aware. Don't forget they're not penalizing if you're hitting each other. So if your clan decides to split up into teams, like I thought about trying to do that with ours. Split up in teams and hit each other, but then I realized we can only hit each other once. That wouldn't have been much of a little mini war now, would it? Then again, I'm still waiting for Chad to hit me like he said he would after the last Warpath.
I'll get my chance to hit you because I know for a fact you're going to be asking for a bubble towards the end.
I don't know. If I haven't got a good solid base hit, maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll find out. Could be all dependent where I sit to. If I'm still out banging to the last minute like I was last time, and but let's move on. We all are very excited about the Warpath. Oh no, we're not done with the Warpath discussion, are we? We got to talk about the prizes.
Yes,
Prizes. They put some stuff in the prizes now. Where the hell do I get the list of the prizes, Chet? Oh, at the bottom. That's right. Right, you click on the bottom and it gives you the prizes. Or am I just gonna get DC'd? No, you're gonna get the prizes. Looks like Roland, Oren, Audra, Weaver, Nex, Sunder, plus their hero tokens are all in there. And of course, you still got the 100 million Thor and the 100K medals. No, I'm sorry, 100K medals.
No, I must give praise where praise is due. I definitely like that for the lower levels because
Yes.
for a fact, like the other account that I play with, it's a 38. It doesn't have any of those heroes, so I can get max payout on that account, and I have a shot of getting heroes now.
Yeah, and that is a good thing, And then we were asking for that last time. We were asking for it, and they stepped up and did it. So it is showing Kickstarter's listening, and they're not giving us the world. Don't get me wrong, but they are listening. I mean, is the game to play being improved? We can say yes and no.
That's a question.
It is a questionable subject. Is some of the events rough or not I would say not in the right format. Yes, the last one especially.
The balance is off.
I want to.
Thank you, Skipjack. Exactly what I was looking for. The balance is off.
The balance is off. I understand and I applaud their efforts, but the balance is off. And I've said this before. The December events, like I said, I've been playing a long time, but as a moderator, this is one of those things. It's like these are the kinds of things that stick in a mod's head, even though I'm not, as vested as you guys are in the game. The December event is always the start of a new event style because it always follows the zombie event that was in October and we always carry our zombies into November. The December event historically in War Commander has always been the start of a new event style. It always has been. The only time it deviated from that was when the original Special Forces were introduced in 2015. We still had a new event style in December, but instead of keeping that new event style and then it was 4 months long, it was only 3 months long, and then we had the new Special Forces. So, but it's always been that way, and I just think this one was a little bit too drastic for the low to mids to
I
feel balanced.
agree with
Especially
that.
since they took the replay tokens away, and we did try to explain that to the team, and they're like, well, yeah, but they're going to be able to get farther because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, no, because if you are anything from 32 and below, you only have the following units unless you did buy a package of some sort, which the cheapest package that was good for a low to mid-level player was still 199 gold. So again, these people don't even know what those things do. They don't have the buildings to support them in the first place. So unless the stuff was pre-built, their buildings weren't even ready to equip them or get them ready to use for anything. So I've always tried to advocate for the low to mids, and I just wish that they would share more with maybe some higher level people that are within the game, maybe some alliance leaders, grab the moderators more and say, hey, this is what's coming out in the next 2 or 3 events. What do you think? And maybe throw us in a testing environment and, and give us a chance to say, okay, because I can do that with one of my alts. Can you? Would you be willing to take an alt in instead of taking your main? I mean, because you would have the opportunity to do both. Wouldn't you take a low level in to test it to see how hard it would be?
Well, see, that would be a fantastic thing.
Right.
It really would, because we all know, everybody in my clan knows, if there's a base out there, I will burn my units down trying to help them get the next unit, to get them that next unit. I'm always trying to help my lowers, trying to help what I call my family. And my problem to them is, even if I show them how I'm doing it, sometimes they turn to me and go, Roy, I don't have that. Well, you can do it this, but that means they're getting extra damage. That means they're not going to get that far. Then we get into the event, and because they couldn't get what they wanted or what they actually needed, their events suck. So then they're struggling to get through the events. And a prime example is night owls are slowly going by the wayside because of the hornet and the yellow jacket. They're way stronger if you get the tack. They're a more durable unit. So people are phasing them out into the base, phasing them in. So but the how much of the damn night owls still are way out of price for some of these lowers. They can only make it to maybe the third or second base defense because they just can't upgrade their base fast enough.
They can't do it anymore. But it's like a catch-22. They need them, or they need them, and then when they get them, they don't have enough room to put them in there because it takes so long to get the other buildings up in order to get their drone silos up so they can put the night owls in there.
Exactly.
And I mean, let's just face it. I mean, and this goes way, way back. I mean, we're talking like 6-8 months ago when the question was asked live, and Wrong Thinker flat out came out and said, well, why does the night owl have a schematic? And it was planned that it would have tech on it, and it was planned that it would be a kick-ass unit. And let's just admit it, the Yellow Jackets and the Hornets are replacing that. But for a low-level player, and what I'm talking about is I'm not talking about old school low level. Okay, to me, a low level player right now is anyone that's like 35, 34 and below. So for a low level player, the night owl is a necessity just to have a decent defense. So it's not, the night owls are not irrelevant to them because Jesus, I couldn't even freaking afford the freaking Hornets, for 1.25 million. And then you have to have the tech on them. So, and that's unobtainable. I'm sorry, for a mid-level player. Unless you have help, that's absolutely unobtainable. And if you don't have the building size and the capacity in the first place, you might as well stick with the night owls because they're going to be more beneficial for you. Are you going to be able to compete against somebody like me that decides to come and smash the shit out of you? No. And I'm not even, my player level is high, but I'm not even that good. I'll just flatten you with my air. It doesn't matter how many night owls and shit you have. I'll just come in and wipe you out because the rest of your stuff is low level anyway. But my point is that if they want to even compete with the PV, the events as far as the defense needs, the night owls are key for them. I bless their hearts. They send me their videos, and they're really frustrated, especially this last event. And I see them, they got their little helicopter drones or their little wingman drones or whatever. And that's all they had because that's all they had the capacity for. And none of that stuff was standing up to the zombies. Give me a break.
Let's be honest. If you didn't have the fire tech on a lot of your stuff, nothing was. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You're screwed.
You were screwed. I still had night owls in my drone silos. You know that. I still do now. I have night owls in my drone silos, and when I realized that my night owls were being butchered by the spitters or whatever, or the different kinds of zombies or whatever, I never put my stuff on fist. In defense. I always keep everything in defend. I'd grab a couple units and come out and finish off whatever units that were hitting my night owls, so my night owls could go do what they needed to do. But yeah, there were a couple defensive waves where I was like, well, shit, there goes all my night owls. So I can't even imagine what the mid-level player is doing, and I don't even want to think for a minute what the low level is. If they geared, which I guess is probably out of their realm, if they geared the defensive wave based on the player's level, that would be different.
No, that would be different.
In other
That
words,
would-
instead of setting the same things that we all see, instead of setting a maxed level, let's just use the Spartans, okay, for instance. Instead of using max level Spartans, sending 150 max level Spartans, you would send 150 level 8 Spartans or 10. You know, we get the ones that are maxed and teched out, you know, to the nines, you know, all boobs, tubes, and the whole 9 yards. So if they were to base the defensive waves on the player's levels, because nobody can help the player with the defensive levels. To me, there's no reason why, unless it's a coding problem for Kixeye. To me, there's no reason why not to cut that power level for the defensive waves down a little bit for the low to mids. Because we can't help them with that. No one can go into your base and make your base stronger or make you fight or make your units better. So you're on your own. I just don't think it's fair for them to have these big max level units coming at them. Like I said, you know, balls to the wall, you know, with every kind of tech that there is, and they can only make it to defensive level if they're lucky. 4.
No,
You know?
I guarantee the mids weren't making it past 3.
Mm-mm.
I bet you
The ones that I had, the only ones that made it past 3 were the ones that reached out to people like me and probably
asked for
like
help.
people like you, and we said, think outside of the box, put your command center all the way over here, load this whole one side up because everything's going to be coming at you from the third base side. You know what I'm saying? That is the only way. And they still, even then, I don't know any low level that made it past level 4, and that just kind of blows because they have no reset
Well,
tokens.
here's a good question for you. We're into you know, if you got a low level or a new player that's never done an event and this was your first event, what kind of taste in your mouth do you have?
Oh, a horrible one, because it was horrible.
So now, would you stick
that's
around and
the
keep
time.
playing?
Hell
Would
no.
you?
No.
So, what is Kickside thinking that if we can see this? Oh, they're not, because I'm going to be honest. I don't think they're playing the game like the players are playing. They're playing it casual, where it's okay. If I miss this event, it's not a big deal because it's not it's just something I need. And
Mhm.
half of them, I bet you don't even understand the terms we use.
Nope.
And
Especially the slang terms, you know, we say, or we talk about splash, they don't understand splash, or we talk about sustain. I even have to stop myself and understand the difference between sustained damage and area of effect damage. I mean, obviously, to me, area effect, well, your picture is what I think of as area of effect. There's a bomb somewhere in the middle of your picture, but think of the outward effect of area of effect. But
well, that's what's
even
going
I
on.
have a hard time remembering the different units that are sustained damage, area effect, or could have both sustained or area effect depending on how they're equipped. So even I have a hard time with that. I can't imagine a new player having to remember all of that with the really crappy units that they get as a new player. And I wasn't listening earlier, but if you hadn't brought that up, as a new player, I had no idea that these players are still getting the same kind of units that I got when I started playing 7 years ago. I had no idea. I thought that had already, I know that the tutorial migrated, so I just assumed
I
that
don't. Well, I see the tutorial every time I log into Kickstarter. It looks like the exact same tutorial.
there are
I
packages that they get. I mean, my alts
yeah,
are
but
low
wait a
level,
minute,
but
wait a
I
minute.
haven't created a new alt in a long time, so I just assumed incorrectly.
The packages they offer the low into the low players, okay, not the mids, the lows,
Right.
the guys that just starting out. If you just went through this event, you just tried to play this event.
You wouldn't have been.
Would you want to spend a dime to buy a package,
Nope.
or would you just say, okay, this game's not for me?
Yep, that's how I would feel. I mean, I don't want to totally, like, you know, shoot Kixeye in the foot with this one, but it's just like they're missing out on a tremendous opportunity. If you want to bring new people into the game, you really need to look at the low to mid levels because so they're not coiners. I get that. I understand that. But if you're never going to turn them into coiners if they can never get to the point that they can actually enjoy the game.
There you go. That's it. That is exactly it. And you know what? Not everyone, and even say to some clan, my clan doesn't really take super low levels. Matter of fact, I don't think we do have a low level. Really, we have mids. Say some clan takes a level 12, just say random level 12, and to help them. They can't help him because they can't. What? Maybe maybe if he's lucky, he gets to the first defense wave. Maybe. Then what's he gonna do? He's not getting to the next one. And then hey, wait a minute. Then you take the reset tokens away from him.
Yep.
So if he's lucky, he gets through 2 defense waves.
And you know what? As an alternative, okay, so let's not slam Kixeye 100%, but I'm staying in that vein, okay? So let's not slam them, okay? So anybody that's level 34 and below, give them the same reset tokens that they had before.
That's a good idea. See, now that would be a great idea. Or
how hard is that? Level lock, how many resource tokens did you get? Anybody 34 and below? Because they still have to get through the defensive waves. But at least you give them the opportunity of doing the event and being able to do it 4 times or 5 times or what have you. Or on a random roll, give them the chance to earn an extra resource token. Again, only 34 and below. Because I've seen some pretty strong 35s, especially in this Warpath event. I've seen some 35s that, I'm not saying they kicked my ass, but I took more damage with my air than I thought that I would for some 35s. Maybe they were returning level players. I don't know. Maybe they were players that had shit reset and they were just stuck at 35. Maybe they were hackers. I don't know. But, I mean, I did have a 35 almost kick my ass with my air because I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, it's a 35. I can handle this. And I took more damage on my air than I thought because I wasn't paying attention. But my point is like that. I think is something that you can. That to me, I think that's not hard to do. And I could be wrong. Maybe that's something I could take to Kixeye management and say, hey, you know what? How about for everybody 34 and below, you give them 2 extra tokens, or on the master track, and you're getting units and stuff like that along the way. In one of those chests. Again, if they're a level 34 and below, give them the opportunity to have another reset token because, like you said, in your alliance, you're going to help people, but you can't help them with the defensive waves. The only way you're going to be able to help them get XP is by prepping as far as they can get in the attack, which isn't very far.
They can skip now. Wait a minute. They can skip.
Yes,
they can skip the defense waves.
But here's the problem, though. That means they're going to have to get somebody that's going to ride them all the way through.
All the way through.
And on top of it, they're losing all that XP from getting their asses beat.
Yep. And they lose anything free that's being given out through the defensive track.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of it, if they somehow get through enough, that means they're still going to have somebody ride through them to get through the faction tracks if they have the unit. Now, here's the thing. If they have the units. They're not giving level 12 a faction unit now, are they?
Nope.
So that means they can't get into the faction track to get the new faction units.
Yep.
So
I do get a question.
Oh, absolutely.
On the last event, I wonder how Kixeye fared because, the events make their money for them, or part of it. Did they lose money? Did people not coin?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I don't think Skipjack gets the numbers. I don't get those numbers.
Well, I understand that.
But here's the thing.
I don't get the numbers, but I can tell you that the bases were different the last 2 days of the event
That's what I was about to touch on.
When we first started, because I was doing them because I did the first 2 days and then I was very sick and then I tried to play catch up with the last day. Well, I would say day and a half. It's like it was one of those all-nighters. So when I say day and a half, it's because I didn't go to bed the night before the event ended. So I was doing bases that I was doing at the start of the event that were fucking harder than they were. And I'm not stupid. I've been playing this game way too long.
Oh, they definitely adjusted them. They definitely adjusted them.
So what does that tell me? I don't know. Did they? Maybe they did. But I'm just thinking to myself, okay, that kind of pisses me off a little bit because I'm just like, and they don't have to tell us about stuff like that, but I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, I mean, of course, I went into the base thinking, okay, I have already puzzled this. I already did this the first 2 days of the event. I'm going to go in with the same units. Okay, it was a struggle the first time I did it. The second time I did it, I figured out the puzzle. So here I am. I'm like down to the wire trying to finish the event. I go in and do the exact same base, and I get my ass handed to me. I'm using the same puzzle, but it's because everything in there has been buffed. And I'm thinking to myself, well, thank you very much, because it would have been nice to know that. So that tells me then there isn't people spending enough money. This is a player talking. Okay, I've been playing Kickside games for over 7 years. Okay, and they are notorious for doing that in Vega. They're notorious for doing that in Battle Pirates. So that tells me that maybe they didn't make money on this one. But I mean, the reason why they didn't make money is because nobody could go anywhere.
Plus,
and it didn't make you the high level people who would normally spend coin to help a low level. You don't even send them a Facebook gift card, because you don't even send them a Facebook gift card because they can't even get far enough in the event to earn enough XP for it to be worth it to you.
Well, that's because they also did, what is it? I think number 45. Literally, the base 45 was a one-hit wonder.
Yes.
The reset token comes out in 60. So, hello, they can only go to one-hit wonder because we can't help them.
Right.
So that means they're not going to get a reset token. So, hey, they went through 1, 2 times. Hey, we're stuck. They're done. That's great, guys. That's great XP. That's great how they're going to develop. That proved to me right there that Kickside went from listening to, oh, yeah, we can let you skip the defense, to, yeah, we'll let you skip the defense, but we're still going to screw you by locking you down.
Right.
Now, one of the things we talked about last night, I think it was Pigtails and me and Skipjack, was maybe it's time they change the bottom end units and phase some of them out. Now, when I say phase them out, I mean, yes, I know everybody still likes to use the ERMs as meat shield. Phase them out, because we did a test last night to prove something, and I'll explain it in a little bit. But take the SF units, and make them the new ERMs for the lower units.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that health that they had.
Yep.
Bring down the repair time as an ERM.
Yep.
Bring down the cap a little bit. Don't have to be a ton, but bring it down a little bit. Because last night we ran a test. Now, Chad was one hell of a nice guy and decided to run this test for us. He threw 3 libs into his base, emptied his towers, and ran a full platoon of SFs straight at him. You know what happened? The SFs all died, and he only lost 1.5 libs. So even if we give these lowers SFs or newbies SFs, they can start doing some of these bases, and maybe they'll get caught into this game and spend the money the Kickside is losing. Maybe they can go a little farther.
Yeah, because the low levels are just getting really, really frustrated, and we've said it before, and Kickside has said it too, and Wrong Thinker has said it publicly, and Sam Salako used to say it before that. You know, there is always a huge power/learning curve when the event changes the style. I completely understand that, and I get it. But if the power level and the change of style completely obliterates, you know, a good 20 to 40% of your population that play the game, which are your mid-levels, and then down to that your new level players, or the people who are who are getting re-engagement packages because they left the game and they're being asked to come back, and the only thing they have is special forces. So and they're not all that great because they're not all teched out. They don't have the newest special forces. They have the first generation special forces. So
God, I couldn't handle that again.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine that. But so you get them in there and you're thinking to yourself, but you've basically nerfed them out of an event where they get almost nothing. And so by them, here they are, they've worked hard, or they've re-engaged, as because you offer them a re-engagement package. They work hard and they think that they're getting far, and then you change the event style and you basically nerf them completely out of the event. So then they're even farther behind. And then by the time they feel like they're caught up again, another event style changes again, and it's that power curve for them. There just needs to be an acknowledgement for the low to mid player. I'm sorry. Jim's still behind the power curve. Let's bring that up, okay? He hasn't even been playing the game. It'll be 3 years in February, okay? He has not even been playing the game for 3 years. So anybody who listens to this or who's watching right now, he is a level 43, okay? He's working. He's got some really great advice from some really great players about what he needed to do first in his base. So he's thinking he has 700 and some billion to go to level 44. And I'm like, no, babe, that's 740,000. In the next 3 upgrades to his defense lab, he's going to be a level 44. He hasn't even been playing the game for 3 years. Think about that. Anybody who's been playing this game, this is the only Kickside game you've ever played. I mean, did you ever think you would ever see level 42, much level of 45? I'm talking about old school War Commander. Jim's going to be a 44, and he hasn't even been, and he's not coining. What's your defense lab? We were just talking about. What's it going to? 7?
No, it's 14 maybe.
I'm 15. Sorry, not 14, 15. I'm sorry. I had it half as much. I forgot because they added levels. That's what I'm saying. Who do you know that's a 44 or 45 that still has 5 or 6 more levels to their defensive lab? That doesn't exist. Not if you're an old school War Commander. Your stuff is maxed. But Jim is going to be 1 level down from some old school War Commander players that have all their buildings maxed. Their airfields are maxed. Their hangars are maxed. You know, their storages are maxed. Jim's storages aren't maxed. Their helipads are maxed. He can't compete with those level players. But it takes him so many resources just to equip something or build something now. His base level has just skyrocketed. And that's another part of it. The low levels they're having to get so much resources just to build the stuff not the stuff in their base, just to build the units that they need to build in order to be competitive. Their player levels are just skyrocketing. And it really, again, it goes to the balance of the game. I don't understand who's not putting this together. I'm sure there's some people who focus on PvE, and I'm sure there's some people at Kickside that focus on PvP, and there's some people who are just focused on what's happening inside your base. But if the 3 of those people aren't getting their heads together and really thinking this out, the balance gap is just going to get wider, and you're not going to retain players that way.
And the power, that gap that we've always saw that was really big before is now such a big gap that a level 12 coming into this game is going to say, I'm never going to catch that. I'm never going to be able to compete with them. I'm never going to be able to run with them, and get frustrated and exit stage left.
Yep. Because they can't do it. I mean, there were so many, like I said, there were so many low to mid levels that contacted me that just said for them, because they had so much fun in the zombie event. I mean, they may not even have gotten that far. Almost everybody enjoys the zombie event because it's just one of the funnest events that there is. Of course, we all got tired of zombies. I
think we were burned. You know what burned us out? I don't think it was the event.
We were zombied out. I know, and plus in October we had 4 events in 1 month, so that was really.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was those damn 70s.
Yeah.
The shadow up bases were so overpowered, and yes, everybody started to figure them out, and they were getting them. But you know what? A lower mid was doing 45s, and they were so overpowered because those damn spitters would spit 6 miles and kill you.
Right, and then we had to and Kickside listened though. I appreciate that they listened because we had to beg, borrow, scream at them to please change the 45s. I get what they're saying. They're like, oh well, if we make them too easy, the high levels won't do the 70s, and they'll just hurry up and they'll run through a whole bunch of 45s.
Hey, Kickside, I'm going to tell you this right now. Right. We don't want to do any extra bases. So people like
No,
me.
we don't. I was like, yeah, as a high level, you just want to do 2 and be done because there's
That's
enough
it,
other
baby.
things that you have to farm anyway. You don't want to
Oh,
sit there and
wait a
have to do 8.
Guys, Warpath's here last night to get your anti-missile bastion stuff. Guess what? We got to farm that and do Warpath.
And do Warpath on top of everything else.
Oh, and wait a minute. Kickside, we still need intel. Oh my gosh, we got to farm again. There's plenty of other bases to farm. You don't have to worry about us up a level going after 45 because we're going to be so busy still trying to just pop the 70s out to go on to do intel, anti-missile bastion, metal bases because about the gear store, which we're going to get to next, matter of fact. There's so much other stuff we got to hit, Kickside. We don't want to have to hit extra bases. We want to get back to our PvP too. So I think we're at the point where we understand there's Kickside has options now, and they are starting to listen a little bit, but it's up to them at this point to try narrowing that gap. So let's not just keep pounding and pounding what they could do or should do. Let's just leave it on the note that they are. How do I put this? They are recognizing some of the things we are requesting, just not fast enough, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Now,
and well, speaking of where I'd like to go in that vein is they did listen with especially the first wave and the second wave, and they did make adjustments last time in the second wave, but like Wrong Thinker said, they didn't feel that it was fair to make a huge adjustment in the second wave last time because it's not fair to change the event style right in the middle of the event. So they took all of that from phase 1 and phase 2 and took that into consideration for this event. And is it perfect? No, of course not. It's not going to be perfect.
But you got to give them kudos.
There's no such thing as perfection. The word perfection and Kickside do not exist in the same dictionary. Sorry, guys. Yes, I know I'm a moderator, but I think they know that about their own company. There's no such thing. It doesn't exist. So did they listen? Yes. Did they make some adjustments to the payouts? Yeah, they did. The formula is much better. It's a lot broader. I think it's a lot easier for right now to earn, as I call the blue goo, to earn the blue goo. Could they have done something different? Sure, they could have done something different. But I think at least they listened and made changes. If they had left it just the way that it was the last time, then I think, I'd be ranting about it a bit more. But they listened and they worked on it. And again, they'll listen again. And there'll be people that will complain and people will have something to say. But for right now, I mean, I'm just watching the world chat even. And some of the other pages, because I'm in, I don't know, like 15 different chats. People seem to be, I'm just watching them. I'm not really commenting. People seem to be having a blast. Now that all that stuff from yesterday is behind us, it seems like they're having a really good time.
Yeah,
so,
no, we just brought somebody in YouTube brought it up a really good point. They could level lock the 45s. And I'm sorry, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the 40.
I've never had a problem with it. Because, I mean, what is it? What's the lower level? The 20? It's a 20, 45, and 70, right? God, it's been so forever since I even looked to see what the lowest one was. Yeah, and those are level locked, but they're still not easy.
No, not for them. Not for them.
I'm saying for a low-level player, they're still not easy.
And yeah, and on top of it, they're not easy. And how many do they have to do?
Yes.
You want to talk about farming? Ouch.
Yeah, what is it? Like it's only, what'd you say, babe? It's 400 points?
For the low level?
Yeah.
It's 100 points.
Oh, it's only 100.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. What is that, 80 of them? No, 40 of them. 80. Oh, 80. My God.
You want to talk about farming? There you go, ladies and gentlemen. 80 bases just to get your shuttle ups every week.
That hurts. I can't see a low level doing that. Not with the units that they have. I can't see somebody doing 80 of them.
No, I can't either. I can't either.
The 45 didn't have us do more of them.
Now let's go on to something that's some of us are very excited about, and that's the gear store.
Yes.
It's unbelievable gear store. Now I can't see it all because I know most of it all. I know, but as we saw on in the forums, they have brought Dina back. And
Yep.
and you know what they did is something really right for once. Not only did they bring Dina back as an expert, they gave you the damn tech.
Yep.
And when I say gave you, it's not 400,000. It's 100,000. Dina's
100,000. It's only 100,000. Do you remember how expensive that was when it first came out? And then
600K, I think it was.
and then even the last time it was offered, because we had to beg for it to come out, it was still like the same price. And now I see it in there, and I'm going, "Oh my God, it's only 100,000." Oh.
And then her armor's in there too for 100K. I mean,
Yep.
you could get an expert Dina with both her good techs for 300K.
Yep.
Oh.
Now, don't get me wrong. To me, knowing how, if you can ask my client, I'm a Dina fanatic. Knowing how much I would use her. Oh my God! If I was a low to mid level,
Low to mid level player. Oh my God, that would. Well, then maybe that's what Kickstarter's doing. I'm sorry. Maybe I should just keep my mouth shut. That is a game changer right there for a low to mid. To have
we've
a
proven
Dina
that.
that's expert, that's all tricked out like that. Shit. I mean, it doesn't help you with the defensive ways, but it sure as hell does help you a lot with the PvE part.
Well,
I think Brokeback's getting a fucking Dina.
Yeah, I would say Brokeback better get a damn Dina. Let me tell you, that is an unbelievable payout.
Nope.
Unbelievable.
Hey,
And
I ride my Dina every time I play. I ride her hard, and she gets put away wet, but I have a good time.
I'll tell you what, anybody that says they don't use Dina is full of crap or they're not playing this game.
Yep.
Oh, I use mine. I'm just thinking about Brokeback.
So your lower account, I can't believe you didn't. Never mind. We're not going there tonight. Okay. What else did they do in that thing, in that the gear store? Hello, Roy. Speak English to the people, please.
Well, I was excited that they kept Weaver in there because I was afraid when they announced that there were going to be changes, because he's one that I definitely did want to get because I think he's more relevant than the other two. Please don't shoot me for saying that about Sunder and Nyx, but I just think that Weaver's just more versatile as a hero, so I'm glad that he didn't disappear. But there are some texts that I'm glad that they brought out. I saw some of the things that were last chance I was a little surprised by, but it doesn't like all of Weaver's stuff is last chance. So for me, it's like, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about farming, I have, because he's 800K, and then all of his tech. I mean, I'm not saying he's not good, but he's definitely you need to have his tech. At least his tech is reasonable price wise, but you still need to have all the tech.
Wait a minute. That's the problem. And once again, people are. It's not. The tech would be fine if it was just one at a time, like they do in an event.
Right.
Like they did with the War Rig, one at a time, introduce one new one. They're dumping all three. And to get all three, you got 500 and then 400. You got 1.2 million just to pump out just in techs.
Yep.
How many months do we have to do it?
Well, I'm glad that they brought the because again there were people who got a lot of it in the other events when the Spartas were given out as the Sparta ZKs were given out as free units, but they were given out as free units, but it was just a unit, so you didn't get any of the tech. So I'm glad that the heavy impact armor and the ballistic vest and all that, I'm glad that came out in the gear store, because there's a ton of people that have a bunch of Sparta. Let's go back to that, especially the low to mid levels that have them, but they never got the tech. So they have Sparta ZKs, and I'm like, oh, I don't use them, they're useless. Well, the APM rounds increases the Spartan's damage to infantry by 50%. That's pretty significant. The ballistic vest, the same thing, reduces damage by 20%. That's pretty significant. So it's like the other one. And if you do a good mixture, again, if you don't just commit yourself to your tune being just one kind, and you mix your the one that has a 25% for turrets and the other one for infantry, if you mix your guys and stagger their armor, you're going to be more effective, especially if you spread them out. And by the way, use the X key, everybody. That's your shortcut key to spread your units out.
Absolutely.
So please don't forget your X key. But I mean, who could turn that down? I mean, I don't have enough of those techs. I have, let me click on this one.
And then, by the way, just a tap on, I said 1.2 million. That's just for the tech. You still got, if you don't have the hero, you got another 800 kicks. So you're talking 2 million.
Right.
2 million medals.
2 million. Exactly.
I'm sorry. I did enough farming of the 90s there in Halloween trying to get all the flame, all the other crap.
Yep.
The last chance for Audria and I don't want to do that. Chad's seen me do it. Yep. Chad's seen me farm my ass off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go back to that. And here we are. They're not trying to push us that direction, but it is heading that direction again.
Well, I've been trying to talk to them gently as a moderator as much as I possibly can. And as hard as I work, we won't talk about that air unit, by the way, but as hard as we begged and begged and begged to get a air unit for PvP, again, we're not going to talk about
that. It's a hot subject, and
it is a hot subject, but we are asking for, all of us as moderators are asking for the more stuff has come into the gear store. We're very grateful for that. More opportunity to get more things. We're very grateful for that. But the bases have been adjusted in the past 6 months. They keep getting adjusted. More stuff keeps coming into the gear store. The prices have gone up, but guess what? It hasn't. The payout hasn't gone up.
Not only that,
I'm asking for them to increase the payouts by at least 20% in each one of the bases, and or give us a boss base. A boss
what about the 55? Oh my God! When's the last time we?
That's like worth 50K in medals. And then, don't make it easy, because it's only going to be the high levels that are going to be able to do them, but make it doable. But, you don't have to make it easy, because this piddly 15,000 here and 15,000 there isn't cutting it. And and I do my PvPs during the week, and yeah, I get my 60 or 80,000 medal payout every week, but that doesn't cut it either. Not when you're changing the gear store every 3 months. I don't have enough time to collect enough medals to get there and do my shadow ops and collect my regular resources and upgrade my bunkers and get the other tech and equip it. Oh, don't forget about the stuff in the workshop, and earn diamond tech that you're helping your alliance get whatever they need through intel. You get diamond tech. Jesus, you guys were right about that diamond tech. It was freaking expensive to equip, and I'm still not done. But yeah, I'm looking at more than just to equip the Spartans that I have. I only have 30, and I do have some of the tech, but just to equip the ones that I have more vests, armors and vests than I have because I want the APM rounds. I'm looking at more than 700,000 medals just to get the tech that I need in order to equip all my Spartans. So. And I have to get 700,000 medals, and I have to make sure. Of course, it's new; it's just not going away right away. But
okay,
still,
so now you're talking 700,000 medals on the 2 million that you got to get. So you're up to 2.7 million in medals.
Right. That's just for my APM rounds, and then because, like I said, I do have some of the vests already, and I'm going to equip them separately. Half of them will have one vest, and half of them will have the other vest. That's just the way I like to play my game. But they're all going to have I only have 2 APAM rounds. So, and those are 25,000 a piece. They're not 10,000 like the vests are. So that's going to be expensive. And that's just for my Spartans. That's not even concentrating on Weaver, which is last chance. So someone's going to say to me, well, Skip, you should really, if you want Weaver, you should concentrate on Weaver. Well, good God Almighty. I got to pick something because they're leaving, but I use my Spartans. So
what do? You can't, and on top of it, it's not like they made the 90s easier.
Nope.
Oh, no. We know we're making a mistake, Kickside. Let's not give them an easy base this month, for maybe they can farm a little bit. No.
You know what I'd like to see for some metal bases we haven't seen in a long time? Fucking CC only.
55s. Bring them out, baby.
Yep, bring them out and do the CC only. What's okay? So you don't give us coin anymore at Christmas, and you're giving us, the 12 days of Christmas bullshit units anyway. Okay, so if you're not going to do, they haven't given us coin for Christmas in forever. If you're not going to
It's
do
been a
that
while.
anymore, it's okay. Throw some CC only bases on the map once in a while. You don't have to do it, 3 times a month. Just 1 week, every quarter, 1 week. If you miss it, if you work during the day. If you throw it on a weekend and you're a barmaid or a bartender, you work retail and you miss it, oh well. And that includes me. If I'm
Chad.
spending family time and I miss it, oh well.
Chad, do you remember when those Black Widow 30s came out a long time ago and they gave like 2,000 medals?
Oh,
they were
good.
CC only, not even CC only. You could just dump your Titan and Sandstorm in them and just walk away.
Yep.
I remember, and I told Chad, I'm going to be up all night. He didn't believe me. He didn't think I'd do it. I stayed up all night. I farmed them until my finger. I thought my fingers were bleeding, to be honest. I mean, I was at it all night. Chad woke up. Did you take a break? Nope. I'm still at it. Because you know what? I'm not going to look a gift horse in my mouth. I'm not going to let that opportunity go away.
I pulled an all-nighter. Yep, I pulled an all-nighter. Hey, I've pulled an all-nighter when the noob at Kickside forgets to flip the switch and come out at 3 o'clock in the morning. And, my phone goes off in the middle of the night, and it's one of the chat rooms, and it goes, boo-doo-doo. And I'm like, oh, my God, the base just come out. Because it's some guy in Australia, so it's like dinner time for him. And he's like, oh, my God, the frickin' boss base is CC only. You don't think I don't get my ass out of bed and go hit a bunch of them bases? The hell I don't. Yes, I do.
I'll tell you what. I'll be honest with you. If any one of my clan members knew about that, something like that, and they didn't wake me up, I think I'd be pissed.
That's funny.
Okay, let's continue with this.
Kickseye is going to fix it. It's not.
Oh yeah.
So Kickseye is going to fix it. So you get on it, and you jump on it. Yes, everybody gets mad and they complain. What about the players who didn't get the opportunity to do this, this, and this? Oh well, I don't want to say you snooze, you lose, but it's like you take advantage of what you can as soon as you possibly can. And
well, I'm going to be honest. Oh, look at the thing they just put out for sale for 99 gold. Make your Titan last longer and hit harder than ever before. This offer upgrades your existing Titan to a level 37 Titan.
I didn't get that offer.
I'll tell you right now, mine's at 33.
Is that on your main?
Darling, I'll show you.
I got one on my little. I just got one of my little.
Mine's a 30. No, excuse me.
That's funny. Your Titan's maxed.
No, it's a 34.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't know that.
It's 7 days to keep going on top of all my other mega shit. For 3 levels, that would probably cost me a little more than that. Would it be worth it?
It's 99 gold?
99 gold.
$10, huh?
I'd kill to do it, but I can't do it. So, moving on. I'll tell you what, just to cut those damn 21 days off would be freaking be nice.
Yeah, but if you were a mid-level and you had a Titan and yours wasn't even up there yet, oh, hell yeah, you better spend. If you're a mid-level, go spend $10.
You know what just pissed me off? You know what?
Not buying beer for a week and go spend $10 and get your Titan.
It does not give the tech, though. Okay?
Oh,
no tech. It's just the Titan. But here's another thing they're not telling you. They're probably not telling you a lot of things, but this is one thing that I've noticed. It might be a level 37, but without that tech, it might as well be a level 30 because it's just not going to act the same. It's not going to be as good. Now, I just turned my alternate account to level 31. It just turned to a mega just a couple days ago. Here I was thinking, okay, it's a mega Titan. I can go back to oh, no. No, I don't have any of the tech for it. It still sucks. I need the tech.
I was just thinking to myself, I was like, it would be different if there were going to be, you know how they put out the, give me a second. I know I'm a moderator. Hold on. I have to remember all the terminology. The, I call them the Lubs. Oh, fuck. The Legacy, the unique bases, like a BFGX.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now, if they were planning on putting one of those out on the map, so they made the offer and they were planning on putting some Titan bases on the map for tech, okay, well, I could see why you would do something like that.
Well, see, that would make sense. But just like they decided to, hey, let's put the Omega Hydra on the map and then offer it too at the same time.
Oh, that was hilarious. Well, it wasn't hilarious, but it is hilarious. Oh
It
my
was
God.
hilarious for me. I don't think Kickside was quite after they sat down and thought about it. I'm sure they were going, not our greatest move.
Hey, see, the funny thing is that Titan you're talking about, they're offering it to the low levels also, but it's for 199, and it's to take it to a level 31.
Well, I got it to take it to level 37
Omega.
because mine's probably. I'm going to double check. I think mine's a 34.
Wow, so your offer was based on your
level.
Wow, they're getting really fancy
You
schmancy.
get 2 levels.
And I'm double checking. I don't like misquoting people.
34, I was at 32.
So your offer was, you were at 32 and you got the offer to take them to 34. Okay, to go up to.
2
Oh,
levels.
Well, mine is a 34. They're offering me a 37 for 99.
3 levels.
excuse
You
me.
suck.
Excuse
Yeah,
me
I
while
know, I know.
me while we're on the show, but a whole
Sorry.
bunch of bases that were bubbled earlier today are now not bubbled.
Jump on it.
Excuse me while I earn my
One of the guys
blue goo. I keep saying infamy, blue goo.
One of the guys on the out there on YouTube, he just got offered for to be a 34, and he's a 31. So it's 3 levels for 99 gold. To me, that would save me 21 days. I'm telling you, I kind of would do it, but this boy is still just getting back to work. So this money is definitely still not. Hell, I haven't got my first check yet. So that was a nice little throw up. But here we go. We're gonna continue talking about what Gears 2. I think we're pretty much touched on everything. Next does have her new gear out, so not only do I have to get the Weaver, I got to get the next gear now. Oh my God! So I'm looking at 2.4 million worth of medals I got to get. Kickside, come on, please come through and change that. And ladies and gentlemen, something I'm very excited about. The Phalanx tech's out also.
Yes, the phalanx tech. I was gonna say, if you don't get phalanx, and I mean the phalanx are good. It's just a good all-around unit. But if the phalanx are going to be, I don't mean like that they're hover tanks or that they're scorpions. I'm just saying that the phalanx will, for a very, very long time, be very, very relevant in game.
Well, I showed you the lazy
like the hover tank or like the scorpions were. The hover tanks with the packs, mind you. That's how versatile they are for defense and for PvP and PvE. So and now that the techs I was very excited that I saw that they decided to bring the techs out, because there are people that have them that don't have the tech. So now they're just going to be able to trick them out even more if they can farm enough medals.
That's the thing. And I showed you what the other day, the lazy way to do a 70.
No, that was hilarious, but I have to admit, you were willing to do it for a good cause because it was my husband who needed a 70. But
yeah, the deadline was a little closer than I would like next time, Jim, please.
That's funny. It's funny, but there are still people right now that they don't care because, and like I said, we talk about the 270s. They log in the morning, and they do it with their phalanx the lazy way. And then they put their phalanx into repair, and then they go to work. And their 270s are done, so it just gets their shadow ops done because they know what they have a shit.
Oh, I plan on doing it when it resets. I plan on doing it the same exact damn thing because.
Oh hell yeah! That's another 100 blue goo, and all I had to do was hit a level 35, a level 32, and two 17s and a 21.
Well, Skipjack's having a good time. Let's discuss a couple other things that we're touched on, and I've been trying to stay clear of one of them until now because I know some of it's going to be great and everybody's going to cheer, and then the other half of it's going to say, Kickside, why did you even bother?
Exactly.
Let's go to the airfield. New airfield. PvP platoon. Hooray. We've been asking and begging, and Kickside listened, and they gave it to us. Thank you, Skip, and everybody that's been fighting for this. It is fantastic to see it. 50% reduction. We've been asking that since PvP platoons came out.
Yep.
Yes, they kind of, I'm actually good with this. They took one of the PvP platoons away to fit that in. I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Hell, Destry, I mean, shit. They told me they're going to give me 2 air and they're going to take 2 ground out. I'd still be happy as shit.
Oh, yep.
But here's the thing. Kickside, you still kind of boned us.
Well, you know what? When we asked for something like that, and we asked for it for like 6 or 8 months to get it, we kind of assume that when we ask for it, that it's kind of going to be common knowledge to not tie up all your air platoons.
Well, I'm not worried about
when you're using them for PvP, so you can't, it's like you tie something up and you're like, because I didn't even realize it till this afternoon. I was hitting something for PvP, and it was a base I knew I could take and just turn my units on Ruby. It was a little tough, but I turned my units on Ruby, and then I went to collect. There were 2 35s sitting there, so I had another buggy close by, and I was going to hit the 35s. I didn't realize it was going to tie up all of my air. That was one, and like you said, which was kind of like, boy, did I feel boned really quick. And then it was like everybody said when they realized it yesterday, you can't repair air and ground at the same time. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, wait a minute. No, that's incorrect. You can repair your air and ground. You can't repair your 2 air platoons. You can't repair your standard.
I'm sorry, yes, I meant the standard and the other air. Right, you have to pick between one or the other.
So basically, you're still in the same position you were. You're not getting, okay, I can get my PvP platoon, but my regular air still sit there and screw you. Even though you're using it for PvP, you're still screwed. You can't use it. So it's one of those things, Kickside. How come we can do it with ground, but we can't do it with air? Oh, because we use air more, so you're trying to force the issue for us to coin stuff. I understand that's where it keeps the lights on. I get that. I got no problem if you try to keep the lights on. But don't try to half-ass something like this, because all you're going to do is frustrate your players, and then your players are going to go, oh, man, they're still not listening. They're trying to sneak shit by us. They're going to feel betrayed.
Unless it's I'll see it from because I haven't really got, because of, I won't even say the wheels fell off the bus. I mean, the bus was sitting on the street and the highway robbers came and jacked that shit up. There wasn't anything left of the bus yesterday when everything happened. So, I haven't really got with the team unless, in theory, there is no way to heal because of the way it was coded. And I don't know because I don't know enough about game code. But unless there was no way to fix it so that you could repair both at the same time, maybe that was something that they didn't take into consideration. I don't know. Maybe it was unintentional. I hope it wasn't intentional, but maybe it was unintentional. Maybe it's not physically possible, so they did it anyway. And if it's intentional, hoping that you're going to, I'm sorry, but I'll say it, if they hope that we're going to coin the one that's in PvP because it's 50%, so we can then repair the other one, it ain't happening. Sorry, darling, I ain't spending that kind of money. I like keeping the lights on, and I want to make sure that Wrong Thinker has some kick-ass jeans because he has a sexy ass. But I ain't buying $300 pair of jeans. Sorry, ain't doing it.
Yeah, I'm not doing it either. Here's the thing. I'm not a fool. When I see my PvP platoons getting a little whacked, which it was getting really whacked today because I was pushing it a little bit in one person's base, I will not coin it. I'm going to let it heal. It's 50% faster. But I damn well am smart enough to be very selective on what I put in there. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm glad they did it. And yes, I will coin some of it. But I'm not going to coin some of it just to put my fucking damn, regular air on. I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
Not going to do it. It's foolish, and that just kicks out, in my opinion, trying to slide something by us. Kudos for trying to give us the PvP fair That's shame on you for trying to slip that bias. That's my opinion. Let's see. Sexy ass good in $20 jeans. I don't know if his butt would look as good. Skip it. How's his butt looking in $20 jeans? Not 30.
His ass looks good in nothing, but
Wow.
I'm just saying. I imagine it in my highlight reels. It looks really good, but whether it has jeans on or not. But I'm just saying. Yeah,
I think she's
$20
hanging
jeans.
herself tonight,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just saying. When Wrong Thinker watches the show, he's going to be laughing his ass off. But yeah, because that whole $300. But seriously, I mean, I'm not gonna. Nope, not putting leather loafers and $300 jeans on it. It looks good and it's yummy and everything, but it looks just as good in a $20 pair of jeans and no shoes at all. I actually prefer him barefoot. So there you go.
So
Way
here's
too much information.
Here's the facts. Here's the truth, guys. It is a good thing. They were listening.
They listened. I think it was just maybe
it was an oversight.
it might have been an oversight. So let's give them some time to see if maybe they'll make a change in that and allow us to heal. And if they can't or if they won't, then for someone from Kickside to publicly come out and say why, whether it's Wrong Thinker or it's CM Bernie or it's Golden Doodle, somebody to come out and say, if they come out and say, well, it's kind of, it messes with the economy of the game, those are Wrong Thinker's words. So that's not a moderator talking. If he says, you know what that means, well, it kind of messes with the economy of the game. That's all he can say as an employee without losing his job. We all know what that means.
Yeah.
If he says, well, it was kind of an oversight on our part, we weren't thinking that your PvP repair tune would affect your regular air platoon, we're going to work on that. They couldn't, like I said, the way we got jacked yesterday with the way the event happened, just getting this thing running today.
Hey, kudos on them for, once again, though. Kudos on them for not just saying, hey, let's try hot patching it. You all guys
maybe in the because I don't want to do because Warpath is working. So maybe the next maintenance they'll be able to. I don't know. I'm speculating, but I'm asking them to do it, and so are the players on forums, the ones that are being constructive about it. We're leaving those threads up, even though people are frustrated. We're actually engaging in conversation with them to say, well, how would you feel about this? I know you're frustrated with this, but how about on the next maintenance if they could do it? And that's opened up a dialogue with Kicksai. So maybe, I mean, we don't want them to take it away, but maybe that's something they can consider. And if they can't do it, then have somebody from Kicksai come in and say, you know what, guys, we couldn't do it. There's no way for us to do it. So we have one or two choices: leave it like it is or take it away, and then let the players decide.
Their dialect, I got to give them credit. Lately, they have been better. CM Bernie, I'm very happy with. The detail, the posts, the information he has given has just been.
So him being willing to jump in on a comment if one of us as a moderator sees something and it's like 5 or 6 people create threads all at once and we merge them together and say, you know, this really needs some attention from an official Kicksai person. And then boom, he jumps in there and he comments. I mean, the man doesn't work 24/7. So he has, and obviously he's, you know, West Coast time. So he's there and, but I mean, he has other things to do, but just sit at his desk and look at forums all day long, because that's not what he does. He's not a CM. He's actually a PEM, which is a product engagement manager. He is responsible for the marketing of the game, the promotion of the game, and a community management of forums. So he doesn't just sit there and watch your posts all day long in forums. That's not his job. So he does a lot more than that, than what the other CMs in the past have done. His job is 3 times more responsibility. I hope they pay him 3 times as much money, but it's 3 times as much responsibility. So, but he's willing to do that. So when we direct him and say, hey, here's an outline of the threads that really need your highest priority, he's willing to jump in there and just start commenting. and he'll say, can you give me some more information? Sometimes if he asks you for the information, I've seen some people really make kind of fun of him for this. We always say there is no stupid question. If he's asking you for more information, it's because as soon as you provide it, you will get an answer faster. He's not asking you because he wants to waste your time or he's blowing you off. He's trying to help to understand, number one, the game, because he's not original to Kixeye. So War Commander is his only game he's ever playing Kixeye before. He's learning the game, but he does play. I know where his base is. So I do plan to visit his sector, and I am going to hit him at least one time, and I'm going to flatten his ass.
You can only hit him one time, so you better make sure.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to visit him and at least flatten him, you know, just that one time, just for fun. And I expect a return trip, or I'll just sit there and let him hit me back if he wants to. But he's asking you the question because, number one, he wants to find out about you individually, the player, and what you're actually experiencing. Maybe you didn't provide enough information, or maybe there isn't a picture attached. But he's also trying to wrap his head around it. He's not stupid. Once you give him the information and you answer his questions, boom, the light bulb goes off, and then he knows what track to go with it. If it's something he can answer, he answers it. If it's something he can't, he goes to Wrong Thinker. If it's not a Wrong Thinker thing and it's a Golden Doodle, boom, he's contacting Golden Doodle. If it's not any of those things and it's a customer support person, boom, he goes right to the customer support lead. That's how it works for him. So if he asks you for information, he is not blowing you off. He's asking you so you can just connect all the dots for him so the light bulb goes off and he knows what direction to go to get the rest of the information for you. And eventually, he won't have to go to those people because he'll understand enough about the game that he will already know the answer. Unless it's a glitch or something that they're just realizing that's wrong, and he has to go to engineering anyway or go to a dev anyway and say, is this supposed to work like this? Because this is what's happening to this player. And then usually the dev, which is Wrong Thinker, will say, do you got a video of that? And 9 times out of 10, the players have already contacted me and say, hey, Skip, did you see this yet? Because I don't think it's supposed to work like that. Trust me. Nobody sends me a video when it's to the player's advantage. I have to find those little gems on my own.
Yeah. Now, let's talk. Bringing up videos.
Great segue.
At this point in time, we've been trying to stay very positive, and we have, I feel, done very positive. Kickside, this next part, there's no effing way we can be positive. Sorry, I apologize to you ahead of time, but it ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. We're gonna bring up the customer service problems. Skip Jack, you might want to cover your ears at this point.
No, because I want to hear, because I've been hearing it for hence my post on my public Facebook page, because I was not allowed to post it on the 50+ Facebook pages that I'm on. So I went ahead and posted it on my own personal Facebook page, because all 4,301 of you that are friends with me on Facebook, I just posted it on there as the reason why I asked everybody to allow me to be a player for a couple days, because I just needed to take a break, because I was feeling the frustration level, and I had been copied in on too many tickets, and it was just getting to the point where, you know what, I can't read all this anymore. So go for it. It's, you know, I won't comment. Just go for it and say whatever it is that you have to say, because it needs to be said.
Well, YouTube's even saying about Bernie being an awesome addition. So, see, we're not the only ones that feel that way, which is great. I'm very happy about that. But, sorry, like, once again, we put our service announcement. This might get a little hostile. As of late, I put tickets in. Of course, you know, you got to when things go completely haywire. Boss bases this weekend with the blackout, prime example. I did over 20-something bases. Shadow ups won't work. No big deal. Send a ticket. Recorded it on top of it that it wasn't working. Sent them the video. And sent my ticket in, and they gave me 50 gold, which is the standard. Just, yeah, 50 gold just to shut you up kind of thing, but I didn't shut up. So I replied, and the answer literally did not speak English. Now, it was so bad, I went to Skipjack and I asked Skipjack to read it. And Skipjack couldn't understand it.
I was like, what?
It sounded like it was telling me he had the text, and I was a shit out of luck, basically, if that's the way you want to read it. Matter of fact, if I could find it, I'm going to bring it up. It was atrocious, ladies and gentlemen. Atrocious. The customer service, it's embarrassing. So I go to Skipjack, and I don't know what happened from there. I don't know. I don't want to be in Kickside shoes. All I know is I replied, "Are you effing?" Somewhere around the lines, respectful. I'm going to say I was actually trying to be respectful because I was asked to be respectful. To say, "Hey, are you kidding me? This is the kind of service we're getting."
It is supposed to be premium customer support. Remember, you have to spend at least $50. I know you have way more than $50 in this game, son.
Shit.
So, that's what I'm just saying. It's like I'll say it. This is my head off, but I'm going to say it. It's like it is supposed to be. I had that Will Harbin post. It is supposed to be premium support for the legacy games. War Commander and Battle Pirates are the and Vega for that matter. But there is no spending limit for Vega, so Battle Pirates and War Commander are under the legacy game umbrella, and it was you're supposed to get premium customer support. I'm sorry, I don't even think there was any punctuation in that customer service response.
As you can see from my screen right now, this is what I got.
Oh, there was punctuation. I'm sorry. I take it back. Go ahead.
I know I'm probably going to get my hand slapped for this. I really probably am going to get my hand slapped for this. But this is what I got. If you can read this and understand it, please PM me and translate it to me. Because I don't understand it. Thanks for writing back. Never mind. I'm not even going to go back through this again. I just can't do it. I just can't.
As a compensation, I have made more of each of the texts I have given you previously. Really, sorry that this is what I can do for you to the max. I'm like, what is he, a valley girl? Hope you understand. If you have any other queries or concerns, feel free to pop in. Have a good day.
Well, he made it. So if he made him,
what did he say? I mean, that's what I said. I was like, what?
He made him. Did he give him to me? No, he didn't give him to me. Did he bone me? Yes, he did, because he's telling me he did the max. So
and I was like, want to go on record as a mod, though. If you ever kind of get one of those kind of replies like that, or and of course he's just showing you his response. Okay, I saw what Roy provided before he got that response.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, between the detailed screenshots with commentary and the video, you couldn't get much more information than that. You went above, I'm going to say above and beyond, but what I call the standard thing, if you want to get a reply and get a decent kind of understanding from the customer support rep, you really do have to provide a significant amount of information. Should we have to do that? No. But do we need to do it?
Oh.
Yes, we have to. So my thing to him, and I'll say that to everybody that's watching and anybody that will watch the show later, is...
I got to ask a question, guys. Wait a minute. I got to ask the question from Daba Phoenix in the YouTube chat. Did I clear my cookies and cash? Yes, Daba, I cleared my cookies and cash.
If you know what I would say to that one? I'd say if I could clear my cookies and cash and get rid of that answer so I never had to look at it again in my support history, I would. I would just tell anybody who's listening, anybody who will listen later to the show, to the replay of the show, is that if you ever get an answer like that, send a reply back. I'm sorry, this is unacceptable. Whatever verbiage you want to use, but try to be as respectful as you can and say, I'm sorry, this is not acceptable. The amount of information that I provided you, I believe, is more than I'm trying not to cuss.
More than adequate. It was way more.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard not to cuss because I know how, as a player, what I would say before I started typing. But my fingers would be flying across the screen, but my mind would be saying something else. But yeah, just say, I'm sorry, this isn't an adequate response. You didn't address my issue, and I have provided you with enough information. Can you please re-review the information that I sent to you in detail? And if you still cannot understand, please don't say comprehend, because that does piss them off. If you still don't understand what I'm asking for or what I'm trying to explain, can you please escalate this to a supervisor or a manager or another customer support rep that might be better able to understand? Because you're I'm not saying that what you were sending in a lot of people didn't have problems with. They did. But I'm saying as a player, there are some really weird things that happen in game that you're going to have a ticket for that's going to be really kind of off the wall. So you occasionally might get a customer support rep that doesn't know enough about the game to understand, okay, the blackout issue, the shadow op issue, we all knew what happened with those. So that should have been a really easy question for that customer service person to answer. So if you don't feel like you got a decent answer, there isn't anything wrong with respectfully saying, instead of saying, did you even read my freaking ticket? Don't say it like that. Say, I'm sorry, this isn't an acceptable answer to me. With the amount of information that I provided, I think it's more than adequate. Can you please re-review the detailed information I sent you? And if it's still not clear to you, can you please escalate this to a support lead or another customer support person? And sometimes you might just catch a new person. Who knows? But ask respectfully for that. If they close your ticket after you do that, grab a moderator.
Well, they closed my ticket, and I'm grabbing you after this. And that one I want to get handled.
Yeah, grab a moderator.
Touch that one yet? We're gonna get there in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get.
We talked about the error already, but we'll cap it again. They tried to give us a PvP platoon for our air, because that's what we asked for. It really is a good thing. It's 50% reduction. You can use it only against other people. The problem is you can't repair the other one at the same time. If they get that to work, whether it was an oversight or intentional, but they were probably hindsight's 2020 on that issue. If they get it to we can repair both, people are going to be ecstatic. I mean, that would be perfect. I would give kudos and a Christmas card to Kickside. And one the wrong thinker if I had to. I'm telling you. The point is, we need them to repair both. But let's get back to customer service. Once again, customer service. Here's the deal. Customer service blew it again on me. We had the downtime to get the Warpath underway. Okay, we all got excited. Warpath here. They're going to do the downtime. We didn't know what time because they couldn't give us the correct information because they were already seeing problems. Okay, so what I did, because I wasn't home, I started my war efforts for my clan and said, okay, when it starts, boys and girls, you guys will have your war efforts. Run with it. Guess what? They took the downtime. As soon as it came back, I was home. I was home about 30, 40 minutes afterwards. Guess what? No war efforts. They killed him. 9 hours. Poof. Gone. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. Okay, 9 hours. That's not the first time they've done that, but that's the second. Oh, then I send a ticket on it. Now, Skipjack, you've seen the response to that. Wherever you went.
I'm still here. I'm listening.
The war efforts was basically said, we are seeing a number of reports. Oh, that's not the right one. That's the one for the other one.
No, basically, in a nutshell, what it was that, nope, we're not seeing anybody that's having this problem, so you must be making that shit up.
I got basically.
In a nutshell, that's what it was.
Wait a minute. In fine detail, they asked me to send an unedited screenshot.
Unedited screenshots to prove that you had enacted the war efforts in the first place. And I'm
So
just
my response
myself,
was
you
very
know,
clearly,
who does that?
am I supposed to have to take a screenshot every single time I do something? Every time I start one war effort or both war efforts, do I need to screenshot? Who the heck is going to do that? You know what I got, guys? I got a closed ticket. And I'm not going to be, I'm a little hostile. The wordage was, you can ask Skip Jack, it was not that way. I wasn't hostile. I wasn't saying who the heck. I wrote the ticket the best I could. I even had to review it because I didn't want it to. They just outright closed it. No answer, no care, no nothing. They just outright closed it.
Right. Well, I was gonna say Daba just brought it up. It's like, who runs 24 videos software? And again, that was my thing about the blackout bases. And you could ask Pigtails, because Pigtails was on too, and there were a couple other people that were on. And it was like the last couple hours I was going to try a couple. Again, I don't have all the stuff that you guys have, but I saw a couple videos and I kind of married some of the techniques. I knew I was going to get my ass handed to me, but I kind of married some of the techniques, and I thought, I think I can pull this off. And Pigtails gave me some tips, and there were a couple other people that were on. They're not here, so I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna name names, but they gave me some tips and said, try this, this, and this, and you use your howlers and your Jericho. Okay, so I did do that 3 freaking times. I'm sorry.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
2 times. Those damn things got thrown into the center of the base and were completely obliterated. Okay, we're not talking about the Titan thing that's visual, where your Titan jumps ahead 6 feet in front of your sandstorm and then jumps back, but doesn't take any damage. No, they literally got thrown. We're not talking about Ruby either, because that bitch ain't that fast. They got thrown to the center of the base and literally got obliterated on the first 2. Okay, so one, I got DC'd the first time, and I'm thinking, I saw them fly over, but I saw them run over, but thought that, I'm like, oh, hopefully this is visual, and I'll get back in, and they're going to be okay, and they're going to be where they're supposed to be. No, they were gone. So I coined that repair. Oh, what a dumbass. Okay, so the second time I do it, I get DC'd again. Okay, and of course, I'm assuming they went right into the center, because it wasn't on Ruby. I'm assuming the same thing happened again, and they went in. Trust me, okay? My system is kick fucking ass. When I go in to do a boss base, my shit is clean, okay? And I'm speaking as a player. Kickside, my shit is clean before I go in to do a boss base. I should have known better. So you go into the second one, and I get DC'd like within 5 seconds. I don't even get a chance to completely get them set up to do what I need to do. And the motherfuckers jump right to the side of the screen again, and then boom, I get DC'd. I'm like, oh my God. So I did everything that you can imagine, even though I knew my stuff was clean. Turned everything off, ran full cleaners. I got up in the middle of the night, went over to my router, went upstairs with the wrench, unhooked the modem, disconnected the wire, waited the 10 minutes, came back, and like an idiot, I thought, I'm going to try one more and see what happens. And instead of getting DC'd, woohoo, I didn't get DC'd. Fucking Jericho, I don't know what. He decided to run a party bus and head south. And then the one howler decided, oh, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to tickle all these guys up here that are in pink. And then the rest of my howlers just grouped all together and decided to smash each other instead of doing what I was telling them to do. I couldn't highlight them. I couldn't hotkey them. I couldn't click them individually and move them one by one. And I literally watched that happen. And then, the ticket that I send says, well, did you video it? I got DC'd the first 2 times, you dumb mofo. Am I going to run video software?
Wait a minute. No. What about when I was screen sharing when I was doing a bunch of them? And my fear links that I used to clear them out, cleared the base real cleanly, literally teleported right under the damn blackout. They were all the way to the right, and next thing you know, they're dead right center underneath the blackout. And I'm clicking away trying to get it to move, and they're just sitting there. That was fun, but I didn't record it. My own fault, I guess.
Yeah, you didn't record it, but it's just, again, it comes down to, we all, I mean, to me, we all, of the longtime players, even how tricked out your stuff is. I mean, and Bandicam doesn't really lag you that much, but if the base is already laggy to begin with, and you're already getting DC to begin with because of whatever's happening, whether it's a frame rate issue or there's too much stuff in there that's floating, there's too much stuff that's dancing around, there's too much stuff that's running to the left and then running back and then running to the left and then running back. There's other things that are coming directly at you because you got to kill them. The freaking blackouts running across the screen. Whatever it was that was graphically that was going on with that base that caused it to lag so bad for almost everybody. Now, there were people who were successful with it, but I'm just saying nobody was able to really do that base without some kind of lag or some kind of funkiness going on.
I know one that literally did it in 5 seconds. I watched it live. And I'm not going to lie, he didn't have enough time to get any problems.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I mean obviously back in the day when there was the blackout manipulation, you could use the blackout manipulation, you could do all kinds of shit with that, and you didn't care if you got DC'd or not because your drones never died. But I'm just, I'm not a manipulator, and of course the manipulation wasn't working then, not that I would use it, but it wasn't working then either. I would use it to test it if they asked me to, and yes, I would take credit for my part or my tech if they asked me to test it. But yeah, I'm not going to run video software 24/7. And you guys have heard me say it on other shows, and you've heard me say it in forums, and you've heard me post it in a room. When I know that the game's going down for emergency maintenance, I did it when the last emergency maintenance happened, and I said, video, I've posted posts before, CYA. Back your shit up, cover your ass.
Well, see, but that brings us right back to the main thing. All we did was activate war efforts. Why the hell do we have to back that up?
We shouldn't have to. And I mean, and hence the word war efforts. And if you're not going to make the intel bases and the things that we need in order to collect the war efforts more readily available, we don't just do them for the res boost. I understand why they changed it, because they didn't want people collecting, the bonuses on the res for 24 hours. Okay, so they swung the pendulum too far back to 6, and then they increased it to 12. Well, they never last for 12 hours anyway. I still haven't figured that one out.
They're not lasting 12.
No, average, I would say about 9.5 hours. The reason why they're called war efforts is for a reason. We don't enact them unless we're going to war.
Well,
and that includes a war event that Kixeye is promoting, like Warpath.
You just touched onto the subject that they don't last long enough. They don't last long enough. If you have just 2 of them, if they actually make the 12 hours, back to back to back to back, from the moment the last intel base comes off the thing, you still can't make it till the next time intel comes back on the map.
Nope, there's not enough time. And I mean, if that's
1 and 2, never mind 3.
But if that's intentional, I mean, well, if that's intentional, then again, I would like somebody from Kixeye to come out and say, well, our intention is so that they don't run back to back. We don't want you running these things all the time. But okay, then say that. Yes, then come out publicly and be transparent and say that. Because you know what? I would much rather know that than to feel like I'm getting boned all the time. But
very true. Very true.
But I'm adding a big butt to this one, and bigger than Kyle's sexy big butt. He doesn't have a big butt. He just has a sexy butt. I'm adding a butt to this. If you're going to have war efforts, and then you're going to have a maintenance, and you're going to take the game down so you can load a Warpath event, and we're going to lose our war efforts, then tell us that, and we won't turn them on until the event starts.
If there's that much of a glitch, don't you guys...
I mean, if they can't fix it because it's going to happen on every maintenance, honestly, again, transparency, then say, I'm sorry, because this is like the 3rd maintenance that's happened, that people go absolutely bonkers because they've lost their war efforts. Because there are people who, believe it or not, just go out and make their own wars because they like to. And it totally blows their mind when Kickside comes in and runs their, maintenance for something, especially if it's an emergency maintenance, and they take the game down, and they're in the middle of a war sector, in the middle of a war, and all the war efforts disappear. I mean, you don't do those war efforts for free.
Well, what really ticks me off is they took those war efforts away. I start another set of war efforts because the Warpath starts, and then they take it down. So those were wasted. So basically, we wasted 2 sets of basically 4,000 war effort supplies. Were just useless, junk. And I know, Kickside's response to, well, 2 of them you used because they ran their time. They didn't run the entire time. I think it was like 9 hours they really lasted. It's supposed to be 12. I think their clock's a little fast. Something's wrong with that. But no, that's not how this game was designed. That's not what they were meant for. We were meant for war. We were ready for war. And you dropped the ball. So, and then, of course, I send a ticket on that, which brings us back to the subject we were on. What does customer service do? Well, we're seeing a number of people saying this. What was it? A number of people saying it, and Kickside is working on it. I think that's how it went. Basically, it was they're acknowledging the problem and have a nice day. Want to double check there. I'm pretty sure that's exactly. If you spend. Oh no! Basically, they said, well, they're compensating for the everything else, because I don't think he read the actual ticket saying it was the war efforts, not the, he just wanted to worry about the damage that I took, and think that compensation was going to be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sorry, that's nothing to do with the damage we took getting the intel. Nothing to do with the damage that we did for doing the raid itself.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do. That's not going to show up on when the Warpath ran for the hour and a half that it ran.
Mm-hmm. And I 100% agree with you. I would like to add as sort of like an advocate though when it comes to tickets, because I did bring that up this morning my time. All the way through the early part of the afternoon, and there were some people that did, and a lot of whale corners that said, I've just, at this point, I'm tired of sending tickets, or so many tickets I sent yesterday, Skip, and between that, and of course between the blackout issue, I got no compensation or very little compensation at all. I'm just sick and tired of sending tickets. There's so much stuff that's broke with the game. I get it, but for me as a moderator, and I know it seems like it's a pain in the butt, and but there's bean counters that are there in customer support, and they're not looking at forums. So there's bean counters there at customer support. So if you're sending a ticket and say, let's just say 500 people have an issue, okay, that might raise a little bit of a flag. But if it's 10,000 people having an issue, and they're from all over the world, telling them to clean their cookies and cache isn't going to work. So if you started off with let's just say you started off with 10 or 20, and then you started out with 100, and then it went to 500, and then you get to 750, and then you get to 1,000, and then you get past 10,000 people with the same issue, that's going to raise a red flag in customer support, and that's going to get somebody's attention. Well, are you going to get compensation for it? I'm not saying you will or you won't, but this is me speaking from the other side, and I'm not kissing Kickside's ass. It's just exactly the opposite. If this is what it takes, and I'm probably going to get slapped for saying this when they watch the show, but if this is what it takes to smack somebody upside the back of the head to get their attention by sending a ticket, not only are you drawing attention to the fact that it's happening, but the other thing that you're doing is for all the other people out there that aren't coiners and can't send a ticket, and the best that they have is dealing with us as moderators, And again, this is a worldwide game. So when I'm in bed, Daba's in bed, Cybertoe's in bed.
Daba, don't sleep. Let's get this right.
Well, I'm just saying that we're all on the East Coast. There are no moderators that aren't on the East Coast time zone. So yes, we do have different schedules, but unless I'm having an insomnia night, I'm in bed by at least 2 o'clock in the morning. So unless I'm having like one of those kind of, or I go to bed early and I just can't sleep and I get up. But my point is that it's a worldwide game. So while you're having that problem, you still need to send the ticket, because it's not the time. Yes, your time gets reported. It's how many people that are reporting the same issue. So not only are you helping bring attention to the issue that needs to be, and the numbers add up, you're also advocating for all those other players that don't have access to sending a ticket because they don't coin. So yes, your ticket does matter. Even if you don't get compensated, it still draws attention. And I'm hoping somewhere along the line, if they run their company like other companies do, I've been the manager of a customer support department before. I've also been the manager of the electronic media department. And I'm telling you, I was best friends with the person who ran the customer service department, because she was one of my best customer service people. And when I went to the electronic media department and ran that department, if all of a sudden she got a spike in calls about our electronic medical software, she'd pick up the phone and call me and say, what the F? This product that just went out new to all the nurses across the United States so they could do their nursing exam doesn't run. That gets my attention. And then every month you have a meeting of the escalation of calls and the amount of people that called in from the customer service department, and you bean counters sit and look at that numbers. I'm hoping that Kixeye does that too. So I know this is kind of long and drawn out, but my point is that just send a ticket. Even don't expect compensation, but hopefully those numbers are calculated somewhere. And maybe it doesn't mean anything at the moment, but eventually those numbers are going to be looked at. And somebody, some engineer, some dev, or some person that was responsible that caused that issue to happen in the first place, the finger is going to be pointed at them. And it needs to be, because if we don't point the finger somehow, it's just going to keep happening. If we don't draw the eye of attention to the repeated failures, like we're going to do as moderators as soon as I get some time to talk to Daba and I see him in the side chat. But this will be something that I bring up about the war efforts, because this is the fourth maintenance that has happened that has completely wiped out the war efforts.
And it wasn't just us, because the forums.
Yes, every major alliance that I am either on their page, an admin on their page, or at one time or another, I wore their tag. So there's got to be something connected with maintenance that is wiping out war efforts. Fine. If you don't know what it is, then be transparent and tell everybody. Don't run your war efforts
around it
before we do a maintenance. Wait to activate your war efforts after the maintenance has gone live. And in that case, hell, we had an emergency maintenance after we had a maintenance. So be careful with that too.
Yeah, well,
there has to be accountability. And if we don't send the tickets in, I mean, I'm guilty of that too. And Jim's sitting right across from me. So, I mean, he's a corner. He can send tickets too. And he knows I'm a moderator and I can bring the information right to the team. But the point is that if we don't direct that eye to those people that are at Kixeye right now earning a paycheck and they're constantly making the same mistake, then who's going to be accountable? And we're just going to keep being boned. And maybe the person maybe they don't even realize what's happening. Maybe the person just needs some training, or maybe there's a little disconnect between one department over here and another department over there. And those two engineering departments meet and say, oh, well, here, if we did this instead, that wouldn't happen anymore. Boom, problem solved. But if it doesn't look like a problem on paper, then they're not going to address it because it's low priority.
That's been becoming a very well-known problem. The problem is we all try to work around it. Like, I didn't think that they were going to take down the maintenance to start the Warpath. I didn't. That's my fault. I could have not, I could have left it alone and said, okay, when they actually started. But I was thinking, okay, if I'm not here, my people need to be taken care of. Boy, did I get screwed again, but hey, I'm getting kind of used to it.
I think you like it though, because you're single. So it's kind of like one of
Yes.
those
I knew that
things.
was coming, but I didn't know which one it was going to be. I thought it'd be Pigtails, or I thought it'd be Destry
Right
chiming
in
in.
on that one.
Speaking of which, where did those two go? They're still in here.
Who, Pigtails?
Pigtails and Destry.
I'm still here.
Oh, I thought you might be chasing a goat.
I might have been.
Come on, bless his heart. It's because I wouldn't stop talking. So out of respect, he knows when a lady's talking to mute up. I know where Chad is.
Somebody's got
Chad's
his
getting his
pigtails.
pigtails done.
Chad's picking the nits out of his pigtails. Oh, come on, you got to take yourself off of mute for that one. Ah, come on.
He might be dealing some personal issues. That's just the way life is right now.
It is what it is. Poor
He's
pigtail.
He's
There he
probably
is.
trying to get that mud plugged in.
I just want to hear you beg.
Oh,
he's so
got you
cute.
big too.
I'm gonna go get you some pretty ribbon, and I'm gonna braid those pigtails for you, and I'm gonna get on yeehaw, yeehaw, yeehaw.
No,
Okay,
I'm
well-
dreading open up my ticket that I sent last night about closing out my ticket when I asked for supervisor response.
Oh yeah, definitely go for that one because that
Go
was
do
another
that,
one that I didn't even get to see the whole thing. But yes, please, I'm gonna mute up for a second. Go ahead.
No, I'm
Definitely
not there yet. I am not there yet. I am having fun on another account.
No, I need you to go here, Chad, for this will be the end of the whole thing.
Well, let me get this 44 with this 38 again. He doesn't like me.
Oh, that would be so cool. I have more blue goo than you.
Okay, well, while Chad's doing this, and I want to cover a couple things. The hit of the week, we had one entry. I disqualified him when I looked at the damn timestamp. It wasn't recent. Wasn't even close to recent.
Aww.
Yeah, on top of it, that account that he has recorded has been banned.
Oh,
So I don't support the hackers, so guess what?
maybe he was hoping you would show it, and then people could make fun of you for not. It's kind of like the some of the other shows that show the hack workshops live.
In other words, not
Like,
showing
oh
my
no, I don't cheat. No, that me no cheat. No. That's
Yeah.
Kickside screw my workshop. Me no cheat. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Well,
maybe he was
I
hoping
do
you would
my
show
due
it. And you wouldn't catch it.
diligence. I reviewed the
Hold on.
video a few times, and the hit of the week, we only had the one entrance. I'm not going to play a hacked account on the show. Sorry.
No. So much for the hit of the week.
Dava, I'm surprised you haven't recorded and done a hit of the week. That's kind of surprising. So, once again, the hit of the week is still open for next week. Started again today. I'm going to try to put entrances. There's going to be a ton of people out there. I don't record PvP. Oh, he doesn't want to be called a noob.
I'm gonna call it the smack of the week. Smack then rub. Tap that ass and then rub it.
I will be recording a few. I know that'll be coming up. I'm saving it for a special person. I know I'm going after.
For those of you who are watching the show now, thank you very much.
Yeah,
And for those of you who will be watching the show later, don't be an idiot and send a bullshit hit of the week, okay? Because we're not stupid, okay? There are some other people on other shows previously and shows that don't exist anymore that just don't really know the game that well. We're not that stupid. Sorry, that ain't gonna fly.
I've played this game long enough to know.
The only way that would get on there is instead of the hit of the week, that would be, and you're not supposed to name
The roach of the week?
No, it would be the wall of shame. This is the person who submitted for hit of the week, and instead they're banned. So let's do a wall of shame.
So, moving on. Once again, hit of the week still up for grabs the next week. Please enter. Just jump them on the page. I don't care how you do it because we take them and we put them on a separate page. That way nobody can see who they're competing against. Oh, he's a hit a 46. I got to hit a 47. It doesn't work like that. I don't care if you're 20 and you're hitting a 23. If it's a good, clean hit and it's creative, we will air it.
Yeah, actually, that would be really cool because there's a lot of new players that, you know, it's really hard to get videos for them. City's really good to try, but it's really, they would actually probably appreciate that because there's a lot of new players that we're, again, there's so much that's up in our head that is so automatic. I mean, God bless.
I can't remember half the stuff I used to use.
I mean, God bless CM Bernie because he's actually made me pull some of that automatic. It's like the thing, and if you ever watch the Harry Potter things when Dumbledore takes the wand and he pulls the memory out of his brain and then drops it down into that well thing. It's the same thing. CM Bernie will say, please explain that to me better. There's so many things that are in our head that's so automatic. So yeah, if you're a low-level or a mid-level player and, you know, it ends up being the hit of the week, I think people would actually appreciate that because there are things that we take for granted, like angles. You know, the way that we angle our Dina when we bring our Dina in.
We take for granted our range too. Some of our levels.
The range, splash
Yes,
damage,
yeah.
how much splash damage you're going to get, and the range on the splash. And maybe you can't completely knock out a turret, but you can nick that turret down to almost nothing. I mean, we forget how to help, especially the low to mids. I was like, well, those power plants are pretty easy to knock out. Yeah, but I don't get anything for the power plants. You're going to knock those turrets down to like within 20, 30, 40% health. So then when you knock this wall piece out, you'll be able to take that turret out, no problem. These are things that the low to mid-level players don't even know. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, hit this wall piece. You're in a Google Hangout with them. Daba does it all the time. Do this, take that power plant out. Now take this power plant out. Okay, now take this. And then you tell them to hit a wall piece, and then they're totally shocked that they're able to actually take a turret almost completely out just by the splash damage from the wall. So these are things that we take for granted. So yeah, if you can show that live and methodically, I see Dab in chat, sometimes it takes them 20 or 30 minutes to do a base.
50% reduction for fire rate when you take the power plants.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Awesome numbers.
Right, if you take all of them. So that's what I was just saying. Each one adds up to a reduction of the power of that turret. And then when you can actually show somebody that you can use a wall piece to splash something to kill it the rest of the way or to do more damage, and people are blown away. I'm like, you don't have to go right up on the turret. Shoot the wall piece. What are you talking about? I said, that wall piece, I said, that turret will not hit you.
I know.
You know, take the wall piece and that'll knock your turret out. Oh, I didn't even know you could do that. But see, those are things we take for granted because it's just in our head. It's because we farm so much.
You know, we are official farm.
Automatically in our head.
Okay, also we're having Sunday open house. Everybody knows that's an open thing. We pretty much put out the hangout and open world when we start it. Come on in, run your mouth about what's going on with the game, what's causing you issues. Every level's welcome. No, and I do repeat this. I have control. I will eject you if you are a hack, known hack, been banned. I will eject you. I will ban you. Be aware. I don't want that around me. I don't need that around us. I don't want the reputation of having that around us.
Nope.
So just be aware. You might get in for a minute, but you might not be staying long. But it is open for them, so if the game is boning you this week, you tried to do this base and you couldn't get it done, if you have something you see that's bugging you, bring it to the Sundays. We're open house, and we'll all have a little time to discuss it, rant, rave, whatnot. Hopefully we don't get too crazy on the rants and raves.
Oh, even if you want to rant, rave, and you want to come in and talk about stuff that's happening in forums. I know Dabo would welcome that too. And we don't even have to be part of that show. We can hang out in the YouTube chat, or I can funnel information to PM to Roy while he's running the show. I would really like to, one of these days, run one of those kind of shows and have people come in, and so we could actually explain a little bit better really what our responsibilities are as moderators.
Well, I was thinking that, matter of fact, for next Sunday, if I could get you and Daba on to discuss what the hell the actual responsibilities are, moderator, because I know for a fact you guys can't ban an account. You
No.
can get Kickside the information,
Yep.
but you do not actually have the power to ban them.
We have no access to the players other than your user ID, which everybody can see, by the way. Other than your user ID, when you post something or when you create an account on KXL, there is no way for us to get any information about your account. Now, when it comes to posting in forums, yeah, you can get banned, you can get warned, you could be temp banned, you could be chat banned, those kinds of things. Yeah, we have tools to do. But when it comes to the game, we have no access. We don't see whether or not you're a coiner or not. We don't see, well, I mean, in some cases you can kind of tell. I mean, only because we're players, not because we're moderators. We don't have any access to what kind of a corner you are. We don't have any access to that private information. We cannot access into your accounts. Occasionally, when the team's in the middle of something and we ask in the room because we see that there's an issue in forums, we will ask for clarification for an issue and then answer your question, but the information is coming directly from Kixeye because that Kixeye person might be in the middle of something. So that actually happened a couple weeks ago, and they got upset because of an answer that Cybertoad gave, and it gave that player the impression that Cybertoad had access to private information, and it really upset that person. And at first I'm like, get over it. And then I was just thinking to myself, no, you know what? I understand where the person's coming from. So then Bernie came in, CM Bernie came in and clarified and said, Cybertoad said what he had to say. And then Bernie came in later on when he was done doing what he was in the middle of. And he said, just to clarify, I am the one who gave Cybertoad that information, which was correct, and I asked him to post that. I think that would really help benefit the players because, again, CM Bernie is not, even though it says CM Bernie, he is not the typical usual community manager. He is not what you knew Burt McGurk to be, Kay House to be, CM Salako to be. He is a PEM. He's part of the product engagement management team, which includes marketing, promoting the game, and community management within the forum. So he has a lot more responsibilities than your average community manager. So more posts and more information will be coming from the moderators. And if you want to see it officially from a Kickside person, you may just have to wait a little bit. But we're trying to provide as much information as we possibly can. But if a Kickside employee says to us, go in and tell this person this, this, and this because we said so, that's what we do. It may not be standard protocol, but that's what we do. We're tasked with enforcing the rules. But if somebody at Kickside says, this is what I want you to tell that person, unless you want to lose your mod tools, you better do exactly what that Kickside person tells you to do.
Also, just to make it quite clear, because we had this discussion with somebody, argument in World Chat this week, you did not control how long the bans are.
Nope, not at all. We can bring it up. We don't have to name and shame, but we'll bring it up. It was a player. I don't know if he was in Germany, but he was speaking German. It was a very rude, disgusting, unfortunately. And it's not the player's fault, but it was a rude and disgusting a threat against the family. The guy knew the names of the kids, the ages of the kids, because the players didn't have their Facebook page down. Again, not their fault, but they didn't have their gaming Facebook page. Another, tidbit out there, lock your Facebook pages down. Didn't have it locked down, didn't have it secure. This person was able to gain information from their Facebook page. He knew the ages and the names of the children, and then openly threatened the lives of those children, and then he knew where those people lived. So yeah, that got escalated very, very quickly because that's not game related. That's not trash talk. That's worse than harassment. That's threatening the life of a child, and you're actually, it's a violation of federal law, and I don't care what country you're in. You may just have the trip of the FBI or, MI6 at your front door. You're using the internet in order to threaten someone's life. So that's like a really, really, really bad thing. So yeah, he got banned, chat banned. I would have hoped that he would have got chat banned for a lot longer than 48 or 72 hours, whatever he ended up with. We don't have any control over that. He got reported and he was chat banned. We didn't do it. Kickside did it. It's up to the person who does it to decide how long that ban's going to be. We have no control over that. And then to come into a global chat and then call us inept and, you know, unable to do.
Inadequate was the term.
Inadequate. We escalated it for that family, not for the people who were reporting it, for the family that was being threatened, because you never know whether or not that person's being serious or not. So we escalated it for a reason, and I'm glad that we did, and I'm glad he got chat banned. But we have no control over it. If he didn't get chat banned, we still have no control over it. We don't have access to people's accounts like that. We don't have that kind of control. And if it happens that somebody gets a crater or whatever, you know, after 57 people reported the same thing and a moderator escalates it at the same time, if you want to give us credit for it, okay. But it doesn't mean that because we escalated it that we were even responsible for that crater. It could have been the other 250 people that were in that sector that sent harassment reports all at the same time. So I don't even know if we were responsible for that person being chat banned. I just know that the person was, and I'm glad that they were. But we have no control over that. We don't have any control over someone being chat banned, how long that chat ban lasts. We don't have any control over whether or not your units get reset. If I see it, I'm going to report it, but I'm reporting it as a player.
Chad, you got that ticket?
I'm going to it now.
Is he going to it now? Ooh, there's a 37 open in our sector, by the way, in case anybody's interested. But this base is just a little too tough for me, even with my Herald, because it's got 4 hunters in it.
4 hunters shouldn't. Well, yeah, your Herald's not ready yet.
It's not ready.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not only 4 hunters, but 4 hunters and a storm. They're purple, so I can't handle this. But it's a 37.
Yeah, he's not. She's
No.
her Herald.
What level is your Herald?
Too low.
Too low.
Trust me, Chad. Chad, we'll go over that later.
It's too low.
I'm asking because I've played on a low level account with a low Herald, and I know what it's capable of.
Well, these are like the purple hunters. See, this is going to show my mod
They're
newness.
level 10.
Purple hunters with the red floating platforms, but he's got a max storm on his. All right, I'll try it.
Make sure you put it in.
You want me to screen share so you can watch the new?
No, we're gonna go to Chad because we've been on for 2 hours. Chad, let's hear your ticket. You go for that base. You need to do that base.
All right, I'll do it. Chad's paying for my repairs. Pigtails, you're paying for my repairs to my Herald.
You put it in the PvP?
Yes, it's in there.
Okay.
You're still paying for it.
All right, it's been answered.
Okay, Chad, let's hear it.
All right, let's go.
Wait, hold on. I thought you said it was closed. Did they reopen it?
No, I sent a ticket in saying this ticket has been closed with the number of the ticket.
Oh, so you did send that in.
Oh, yes.
Oh, because I remember we were talking about, you said I have a half a mind to do the following. Okay, so you did. Okay, I'm impressed.
So there's my
the YouTube is calling for your screen share.
It's there. Is it showing?
Not you. Skippy.
Oh, Jesus.
They're calling for you to screen share.
Oh, my God! It took out half the base with just one load of bombs. That's freaking awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, she has not been playing with the Herald much, as you can tell.
Welcome, Skippy.
This is awesome. No, let Chad do his thing.
All right, Chad, go for it.
Here,
let me put you on present there, brother, for we can ever get a good. Okay.
Take it back, Chad. You don't have to pay for nothing because there's hardly any damage.
I don't.
Oh my God.
It's great.
Oh my God, look at that splash. What girl doesn't love splash? Somebody get me a towel.
Chad, could you zoom in a bit?
I can't. I don't. Sorry.
Then just read it, Chad, because evidently even with YouTube can't read it either.
Yeah. Basically, my issue was that I couldn't do the invasion. I couldn't get past wave 8 because it kept disconnecting me. And I started getting instant defeat if I loaded up my base. Now, come to mind that I tried 2 different computers, 2 different internets. And I still had this problem. Now, I wasn't asking for much other than to be able to complete the invasion. All right, they compensated me with gold. Great, thank you very much. But I didn't need gold. I want the tokens that I would have earned for completing the invasion.
Yeah.
Which is not asking for much. Now, it was brought to my attention that there was another player that got tokens because his count was off from the invasion. Now, keep in mind, this said person is probably a heavy coiner compared to me. And I mean heavy. So that's all I was asking for.
Rocket science heavy.
And after going back and forth with this person, Lauren Smith, and I know it's not the actual name, I asked for a supervisor to look into it, at least give me a response and say, hey, we can't do this. This is not in, our tools to compensate you with, which I know is a bunch of crock.
Yeah, because I know other people who got tokens for compensation. So, yeah, I'm going to throw it out there. And I'm not saying that as a moderator. I'm a player, too, okay? I'm on, like I said, more than 50 War Commander pages. I know people who got compensation, and they got tokens. So don't tell me that it's not in their power to do it, because it doesn't make any sense that you didn't get them and somebody else did. That makes no sense.
It hinders my progress in game. I mean, I'm not asking for the max amount of tokens. I'm asking for the tokens I would have got for completing the dang thing. That's all I'm asking for.
Yep.
And I called them a liar, and I called to speak or at least get a response from supervisor. As soon as I did that, they closed out the ticket on me. So I sent another ticket saying this ticket was closed out because this is what I asked for. And now this is what I get in response. Thank you for writing in. As we were informed in the concerned ticket, we are not able to unlock the prizes for the invasion as you are not able to complete the featured completely.
That's the same guy that couldn't answer me correctly. And there it is. Feel free to pop in.
I thank you for not letting that person that has been responding to the ticket to respond to this one. Thank you very much. But I'm still calling bullshit. And
Skip, that's the same person that answered my ticket that we couldn't even understand what language.
So I'm calling out customer service.
Don't stop screen sharing. I'm sorry. Just let me read it for a second.
Disconnection between any other department, whether it be, your game developers or customer service is killing Kickside now.
Oh yeah, it is the death of
the crap that's going on in game with glitches or visual glitches as they would put it, or any other thing. Now you got customer service on top of that not doing their job, and not only that, you're flat out lying to me. Like, I do pay to play this game, not a ton. But I do pay. And I've been a long time player.
What was that, Destry?
I said we all do.
We all, every one of us coin. Every one of us coin. And so far, our customer service has been, I'm going to say it, shit to none.
Yep.
I don't agree with, especially, again, this is mod head off. I don't agree with 2 years ago, the CEO of the company saying, again, and I will reiterate it, if I need to, I'll screen share because I've got the post. I don't agree with saying, using the justification of the fact that you will be considered a premium player playing our legacy games, but that you will have to spend at least $50. So you're justifying that by saying that you're going to, in a way, it implies we are going to reward you with good customer support because you are a long-standing customer. So that's the justification for creating that $50 threshold. I get that. But here we are 2 years into it, and now I'm seeing that there are levels of customer support that players are getting based on how much money they spend. That's not acceptable to me.
Well, I must be
The
getting
way
a
from
newbie
the
as
mouth
newbie.
of the CEO is that everyone who spent at least $50 would then have access to premium customer support of our legacy games.
Why
When did you
isn't this?
change that? Is what I want to know. I'm a player. This isn't me as a moderator. I'm speaking as a player. When was that changed, and why was that not put out by the CEO of the company? Again, that comes to transparency. If you're going to change it and you're going to make that kind of a thing and you're going to put these levels into it, well, if that player spends at least $1,000 a week, then they get to go to customer support leads. If they spend at least $500 a week, they go to a regular customer support representative. If they only spend, maybe $25 to $50 a week, they get off to some offshore customer support department, someplace else where they don't even play the game. I
Well,
mean,
that must be where I'm getting now because I haven't coined in a
because,
couple of weeks.
but that's not acceptable to me as a
I
player.
didn't say it was acceptable.
Right, but no, I'm just saying to everyone. I said that's as a player, we should all be banding together and saying, "I'm sorry, that's not acceptable." Because here's what Will Harbin said 2 years ago. Here's his post. He's the CEO. Everyone who spent at least $50, that's what was the reasoning behind setting the cap. Everyone who spent at least $50 was supposed to get access to premium customer support. That's what he called it. When did that change? And if it did, then where is the transparency from the company that explains that to the players? Because as players, we need to know that. We need to know why Leinster. I'll use Battle Pirates. Let's not use War Commander. Okay, Jim spent 4 times as much money in Battle Pirates than I ever spent. I mean, even after we met, he could have constantly dumped money into my account, and I would never catch up to how much money he spent before I ever met him playing Battle Pirates, okay? So we would send a ticket on the exact same thing. They give him 300 gold, I'd get 50. Okay, so
Well,
I mean, this was
been
before
going on for a while, though.
the 50 because we were still whale coiners, but he was a bigger whale coiner than I was. That would just drive me insane. So it kind of goes back to that. It's almost the same thing. So now they've taken what was the promotion of why they set that $50 limit, and they've altered it. They've now stretched it out, and they say, okay, if they're a super whale, they get live customer support. If they're a whale coiner, they get really good customer support. If they're a moderate coiner, they're just getting everybody else in the regular customer support department. And if they're just kind of like a casual coiner once in a while here and there, they only spend like, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 bucks a week, they get this little group over here. And that's not acceptable to me because you're not going to get the same level of customer support.
Customer is a
We're
customer,
getting,
no matter what
Chad and I both got the same guy that answered us, and we could barely get a real, true answer out of him. I mean, mine didn't even go into the English language, and Chad got bullshit.
Yeah.
Either way, it's just junk.
I was in one of the other, and I won't say the name of the show, but in the other show's chat, and one of the guys was so excited, and I will not say the player's name because I don't have permission. I can say Leinster's name whenever I want because I have permission. I can say Scooby's name whenever I want because I have permission from them as whale corners. But this player is a whale corner, but I will not use his name. He got 275 gold compensation for the screwed up Warpath event, and his tunes were already healed. So we've got people out there that use tunes for the Warpath event that their tunes didn't heal, their air didn't heal. They got the free pop-up that says we're going to compensate you. So not only did their shit not repair, they didn't get compensated any gold, and they're all just kind of standing there, with their cocks in their hair and going, well, now what am I supposed to do?
My shit didn't heal.
But you've got this whale corner, again, I will not mention his name, but you got this whale corner who says, ha ha, he goes, I got 207, not ha ha, as in he's laughing at all of us, ha ha, I got 275 gold and my stuff was already repaired. Because he's that good. His stuff repaired on its own. They didn't need to repair his tune because he didn't take any damage. Because he's a whale corner and he knows how to fly and drive his shit. His stuff was already repaired.
But Skippy, you're even getting people that are considered heavy coiners, or if you want to classify them as whale coiners, that are getting screwed over in customer service
Yes.
too now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just so uneven. It's like where's the inequity?
You know
And
what?
again,
I'm going to be honest. It's all like
about you about your tokens. If one person over here did get tokens, and then the other person, if let's just say it's just 3 people and they're whale coiners and they were all got their tokens, but then I've got 25 people over here that are moderate coiners, and they get an answer from the same customer service department says, I'm sorry, we don't have the ability to award those tokens to you. It's not within our realm to do that. Okay, so then how did these 3 whale coiners get tokens?
Well, here's one for you. You know what this is starting? You know what customer service is starting to feel like? Kickside lottery.
Oh my God!
Feels
Almost
just like Kickside lottery.
almost as bad. It's
It
like,
all depends who
spin
you
the
pull out of it.
wheel.
It all depends on who you pull out of the pot.
I feel like I'm in Hunger Games.
Do you want to
Exactly. I'm in the wrong sector evidently because I'm getting nothing. I'm in District 12, evidently getting shit on. I don't know, but the point is, customer service is not working. Not for coiners, not for low
And
coiners.
it's not even like it's been a long time. This is stuff that's come up recently.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah, and it's the truth. I mean, I won't go into specifics, but even Scooby has shared some of his tickets with me. Not within the last week, but I would say within the past less than 4 months. But let's just say, and it's been a very and usually what I tell him is that I say to him the same thing I just said on the show. That answer, again, there's a little bit of a language barrier. So he reads English fine, but so he's like, this makes me extremely sad and makes me no longer want to play. So I say back to him, I said, basically what you want to do is you want to send right back to that person that this is not an acceptable answer, what I said to you earlier. And I said, don't even bring into it how much money you spend into the game. I said, intelligence wise, the information that you provided was adequate. And you should have gotten a better response than that. If they close your ticket, just like I told you to do, Pigtails, open up another ticket, reference the original ticket, and I said, and escalate it if you need to. And I leave a note behind and say, if that doesn't work, please contact me back. He has only had to contact me back 1 time. Now, should you have to do that? No, of course you shouldn't have to do it.
Well, we shouldn't have to do half the crap.
No, but Pigtail still got boned because he ended up getting boned by the guy that boned you the day before.
Yeah, I guess we're now the new. Well, I guess he's our pimp.
I mean, it does happen to the whale corner guys too, but the frequency of the whale corner guys getting the better premium customer support experience compared to the casual corner recently, I'm just saying, when I say recently, within the last 6 to 8 months, I have noticed that there's some kind of a tier system that's.
Well,
sorry, hang on, I gotta mute up. My daughter, I think, just broke her toe.
that will do it. All right, well, let's wrap this little baby up because we've been going on for long enough. I knew the end of the show was going to be rough because customer service seems to be the nasty topic that nobody wants to touch, so that's why I saved it to the end. I want to thank Chad for showing that horrible, horrible, horrible response that he got. So let's go to shout-outs and last-minute thoughts. Please don't let your rants get too long. Destry, what do you got?
I don't have too much. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't have too much tonight.
Man, we got to get you lit up like we did, in our hangouts.
I could bitch about a bad sexual experience, but I don't want to embarrass Pigtails.
Wait, was this the shout out part or was this the bitch part?
Both.
Oh.
I told you, just because I shaved the chaps doesn't mean it doesn't feel any different.
Oh, sorry. My God. Kicks, I just want to throw this out there. Those two do not represent me. Chad, what do you got, brother?
But he wants to be friends with us.
Yes, I do. Got it. Chad, what do you got?
Um,
Don't bitch about your sex.
Yeah, he
What's
already
that?
took that subject.
I
You
give a
try
shout out
not
to
to
the
laugh.
I will give a shout out to the mods and all the effort that they put forth and above and beyond in the game and trying to help, us players out. Yeah, it's about just another shout out to 101 for, letting us come in and hang our hats there. I haven't chatted much in chat, but what I've seen, I like it. But we'll see once they
Okay.
get to know us.
Oh, Jesus. Seems like when they get to know us, they always ask us to leave. Oh, wait. No, we never get asked to leave. We just get tired of their bullshit. Speaking of, no, we'll go to that subject later, off air. Skip Check, sweetheart, what do you got?
If I could stop coughing for a minute. Okay, so my shout outs are thank you for allowing me to be on the show. Without sharing too much information, thank you for those players who were willing to take the time and the effort to show me some tips and tricks that I didn't know about. Just now, I owe an apology. I owe an apology to Pigtails because I only took 27 minutes to damage my arrow, so that's very acceptable. That's very acceptable. So no coin required. Thank you to the community that has been willing to be as patient as they possibly can with us, because it is really frustrating for us as players. There's sometimes I'm a moderator first and a player second, especially within my alliance. And for my alliance for accepting me and accepting that caveat before they give me a tag. But I try to be an advocate for the players first, and I know that Daba feels the same way, and he's in the side chat. And I'm not meaning to speak for him, but hopefully next time he can speak for himself. But we can only do so much. And even if we're providing all of your information to Kixeye and they still don't give us any information to give you, there's nothing we can do. The one big major thing that we cannot do is to ever speak in an absolute. I will never promise you something. And I always try to end my replies that, yes, I will try to advocate for you because you don't qualify for support. And I always say no promises. And if one time I get someone who's willing to give me an answer and I help one person and then the next two people don't get helped, it's not because I didn't advocate for you. It's just because at that particular time and space, it didn't align right. So I'd like to thank the community that supports us, especially me after more than 6 years. It'll be 7 years in January. In the War Commander community, thank you so much for allowing us to do as much as we can do, but a lot of times our hands are tied. And I don't mean to say that in a negative way. It's just, it is what it is. And we do this for free. So we don't do it for the pats on the back. I've tried to walk away and then I come back. I've tried to leave. They've asked me to come back. The community begs me to come back. I don't do this for anything other than doing it for the community. So I really want to express to the people who have been supportive and have not tried to call me the C word at least 50 times in a day.
Skip
Or
Jack,
the
you
B
only
word.
got it 40 times today, so be ready for the
I
next
know,
10.
I know. It's just like, I know I have one, but just stop pointing it out and calling it that. Pick something else, woohoo. I'd rather call me a woohoo. I'd rather have that than the C word. But my thing is just be patient with us because we can only do so much. We have no access to a console. We have no access to reward you with anything. The only thing we can do is advocate for you and communicate with Kixeye directly where you can't. And if they still won't give us any information, there's nothing we can do. And but we can't. I can't come in there and say there's nothing I can do for you because I won't give up until Kixeye tells me to shut up and stop bringing it up. And they did. And they did. I'll be honest. I'll be honest with it. The last Warpath event, they did basically tell us to just shut up about the people who didn't get compensated. So they didn't say shut up, but they did basically shut us down and say, "Look, we're completely confident that everybody who deserved a reward got a reward." Okay, for those of you who are boned, from my heart, as a person, a human being, I'm really sorry that you didn't get your compensation. But it's not for a lack of trying and not for a lack of effort. And Dab and I worked really hard on that spreadsheet, and we grabbed a lot of people that didn't qualify for support. So again, I want you to understand from the bottom of my heart, we go so far for you guys. So for those of you who are patient enough to wait so that we can do what we need to do to get the information that we need to get, thank you for supporting us, because it really does mean a lot. Because after dealing with a bunch of BS all day long on both sides, from Kixeye and from the players, it really does mean a lot once in a blue moon to actually see somebody come into the forums and say, Skip, we know you can't fix this for us, but thank you so much for all you do. I don't want everybody to do that, but that makes my day. It can take a day that's just a piece of shit where I just want to log off of KXL and walk away from the computer, and it makes me stay on for a couple more hours. It helps me feel better. So for those of you who, even though you're getting bent over upside down and backwards without lube and sandpaper, you're willing to let us as moderators do the best we can with whatever we have. Because really, ultimately, we're just moderators. We're only supposed to moderate the forums. We're not supposed to be asking for anything. And the fact that they allow us to ask in order to advocate for the players is a gift. And good moderators know how to ask in the right kind of way. So thank you. And thank you to the last 3 players that I hit and gave me like 69 blue goo.
Oh, jeez. It's going to be a rough week for everybody because I got a feeling we're going to be in full swing. Let me just give my shout-outs here. But first, I have to do this because I said I would. Daba Phoenix wants to give a shout-out to the Mega Walrus. To whoever or whatever that may be. Here's a shout-out. Oh, my God.
You Mega Walrus?
Yep.
Daba, you're a crazy man.
Yep. Don't announce me too late, boy. Yeah, well, too bad. I said your name anyways. Moving on. My shout-outs. My shout-outs go out to the moderators. What pain in the butts they can be, but good people they are. Now, for real, you guys do an amazing job. And it's not even a job. You guys just do amazing, whatever you want to call it, because you don't get paid. I mean, it's just
labor.
Free, nasty, hardcore labor. No, I do not do shout-outs to Pokemon. As a matter of fact, if I could figure out how to, I know. There we go.
Tonight. He wasn't doing what he said he was doing. He was playing Pokemon Go.
No, look, damn YouTube was just talking about shout-out. I just put him in timeout.
He said you were 2 points off of expert.
What the hell are you talking about, you crack monkey? Let me get back to my shout-outs here.
Good.
I want to give a shout-out to the panel for actually getting their butts in here, even though the other half of the panel, I'll be on tonight, I can't wait for it, and they probably all fell asleep. Do want to give a shout-out to Devious. Don't forget, Devious Moment will be played this Sunday. Good luck to Devious. Make sure it's ready. And final thing, I'm going to give a shout out to my whole clan. You guys are kicking ass, taking names. If they stopped hitting each other, it'd be better. Go figure. No, Destry, there's no goats in my base. Please stop trying to find it. Other than that, guys, I just want to say thank you for coming out tonight and putting up with our crap. Any other questions, concerns, private, or anything, please send it to the Situation Room page, and we will get back to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe us here.
Kickside, we want a goat trophy.
Oh, God, I knew that was coming.
And if you got any extra goats, send them
The
my way.
goat trophy is what we want.
Oh, my God. See, this is what I put up with people. And then you wonder why I'm going nuts.
That's
If
one
you want your
trophy.
goat spread, send them over.
Oh, jeez.
That's one trophy Roy will not have in his base.
Damn Skippy, I won't. But you know I'd buy and stash it.
Comes with the cream pie.
Oh, Jesus. All right, guys. Have a good one. Try to behave yourselves and have fun on Warpath.